Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ask a Scientist Gaming, where we combine mediocre gameplay with expert science. I'm Ken Hansen, Associate Professor in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry at Florida State University. I'm a photochemist slash photophysicist. I shine light on molecules and materials and track that light energy and see what it does, whether it's break bonds or move electrons, move energy, move protons. Hopefully do something useful with it, like solar energy conversion or photocatalysis. More importantly, joining me today is Dr. Bhargav Karamched. Bhargav, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Bhargav. I'm a assistant professor in the Department of Mathematics at Florida State University, but I'm also affiliated with the Institute of Molecular Biophysics and the program in neuroscience, so a lot of different hats that I wear. But I am trained as a mathematician, and what I fundamentally do is I develop models for various biological processes, and I try to understand sort of at the minimal level, can I develop a minimal model that describes as much of a biological process as possible? So I do this using control feedback systems, differential equations, delay differential equations, partial differential equations, things like this. But then I also use stochastic processes as a modeling paradigm because biological systems are super noisy. And so using stochastic processes as a mechanism to model biology is sort of, it just makes sense.
What do you typically teach?
So what I've taught since I've come to FSU has primarily been Calculus 3, which if those of you who are watching, if you're familiar, is like multivariable calculus, multivariable, variant integration, differentiation. Then you get into vector calculus, where you get all sorts of fun. More recently, I've started teaching linear algebra, which is fundamental to sort of all mathematics. We like to say in the math department that we don't really understand one another in the math department because our research interests are so varied, but everyone does linear algebra.
It's the common thread amongst the diversity.
It's like everyone does it.
That's awesome. All right, equally important, what game are we starting with?
We're going to start with Super Smash Brothers.
Super Smash Ultimate.
Super Smash.
So this one, this is one you play now, or this is one of your old-time favorites?
This is one I play now. It's for the Switch, so there's been quite a bit of history for this game now, even though, I don't know, I've been around for all of the history. Mm-hmm. But this is definitely one I play now. Not as often as I was hoping, but, it's just at night if I have some time.
I was going to say the life of an assistant professor. I get it.
So, I don't know, just do a random. Oh, let's play a one-player. Just play like a story mode. That'll be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you beaten story mode on this?
Yeah. But I just.
So do you play online versus other people?
I do. I do that
cow.
quite a bit.
Like competitive? Are you good, or are you getting stomped by 8-year-olds?
Both. I think I'd like to say I'm fairly good at this game.
That's awesome.
But there's always people who just mop the floor with you, and you just have to accept it and move on.
So Nintendo Switch, they don't have a chat, right? People don't talk directly while they're playing, or they do?
So I think you can do like these messages, like greeting messages and stuff like that.
But you can't hear them telling you they're having sex with your mother and whatnot.
No, they'll like write that to you, but they won't.
If they take time to type that out, they've earned it. It's easy to say it, but you're gonna type.
Yeah, but it's the internet, so there's always people who are gonna just be dumb.
So who's your go-to on this?
I've gone through different phases. Actually, that's probably my best character is Mega Man. But I've played him a lot, so I'm kind of trying to shift around. I think I made the setting maybe too easy. But
there's so many characters now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the first one, it was what, like 12 or something? It was limited, right?
Yeah, it was very limited, but it was the main character, so I think they did a good job of selecting. When the first one came out, I was like, who the heck is Samus? I don't know. Like I couldn't, and who's Captain Falcon or whatever. But
Yeah.
or NES. NES was the one that I was just like, I have no idea. And have you ever tried to play the original like NES games for? I guess it was for the Nintendo.
I have not played that series.
I think it's impossible. Like I could not make any progress on that game. But like when I got the Switch, you have an option to like download a bunch of Nintendo games, and I tried playing it. And I was like, nope, maybe.
Man, you can bust that out later if you want.
Yeah, well, okay.
It's on here. The game is a little loud. Thank you, I'm Ham Gaming. Yeah, we'll adjust the volume as you guys request. I apologize. We'll see. Yeah, we're going through several systems tonight, so we got to balance the sound throughout. But welcome to chat. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Ask a Scientist Gaming, mediocre gameplay, expert science. That was some good gameplay. I mean, you crushed them. We'll take that. But yeah, we'll let you settle in a little bit before opening for questions. It is a beautiful game, though.
Yeah.
Like they incorporate so many different styles of characters.
That's right.
It mixes together really well.
And so I chose Ryu, the Street Fighter character, as my character for this story game, or this one-player mode. And they customized the story mode for each character.
Oh, interesting.
And so you see there's this HP bar. Well, in the next one, you'll see it. So it's supposed to model or mimic the original Street Fighter games, which is like, your health bar.
That's such a nice stylistic choice.
The standard Super Smash is you get like some arbitrary percentage, right? Like your percentage just gets higher and higher. It's like how much damage you've taken, and then you're easier to knock off if your percentage is higher and higher. But in this version, like if your HP bar gets to 0, you lose. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's either off the edge or the HP bar. Is that the?
That's right. Yeah.
Man, do you ever watch pros play this game? They're ridiculous.
Yes, and I'm just like maybe like one day when I'm retired and no one else touches this game.
Oh man, but then you're kind of screwed because it's only going to be the people that have been playing for like 40 years, right? Like, and you're jumping back in.
Yeah. They're like.
Not a lot of 70-year-old pro gamers. Might be a reason behind that.
Oh man.
All right, you feel like you've fallen into a groove?
Yeah.
Oh, the challenge modes, that's fun.
It's like I think they made this the same for every character. I can't remember.
Interesting.
But
yeah, I know there's a lot of speedrunners that try to do this as fast as they can, 100% or beat it or whatever it might be.
yes.
But so Bhargav, now we got to get to the hard part. It's not just hanging out playing video games. We have to ask you questions as well. And I'd like to open with one particular question because we have a diverse set of guests, as you saw from the signature board, across many different disciplines.
Oh, yeah.
One thing students don't tend to realize is that most of us as professors, we weren't destined for this job. We had a very winding, convoluted road. We had many hurdles along the way. There were many forks in the road, and sometimes that fork in the road could have gone one of two ways. And there, in retrospect, for me, there were certain obvious decisions that should have happened that made me where I am today. So starting as, 6-year-old Bhargav playing NES or whatever system you started with, you didn't imagine yourself as a math professor, but now here you are doing biomathematics, playing video games, and talking science.
Yes.
So what was your path from 6-year-old you to now?
Actually, it's interesting you asked this question because one of the funniest stories that my family has about me is that in school they sat all, like when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. In school, they sat everyone down and asked them, "Hey, what do you want to be?" And when you grow up, and like my mom dressed me up really nicely, and was like, "Hey, tell them you want to be like a medical doctor."
No pressure.
And you're really well dressed, and then like I don't know, I guess I just like fell apart when they asked me, and I was like, "Oh, I want to be a truck driver." So I said, I wanted to be a truck. I don't know. I said I wanted to be a truck driver. I don't think I ever actually wanted to, but I think I was just like,
just panicked.
Yeah, I panicked and I said truck driver at that point in time.
Oh man.
But so that was interesting. But then I also, after that, I started learning some science in elementary school, and I always sort of enjoyed science. I enjoyed writing, actually. For a point in time, I wanted to be a writer. But that's maybe not the smartest choice for if you're not excellent at.
I mean,
writing.
Ironically, what you do most of the time now is right.
Yeah, so I'm satisfied with that aspect.
Scratch that itch.
Yeah. But I did like science and math. I had some really great science and math teachers, and I think probably in like middle school, I decided like I wanted to be some sort of a professor. So
wow, that's pretty early.
Yeah, it was like this seems like something I like to do. I found I was able to like help others whenever I need, like if they ever asked me to tutor them or something. I really enjoyed teaching them and helping them out, and also trying to understand why things. Oh, is it already a master hand? Okay.
Too easy.
I think I just didn't choose a hard enough level.
Well, you're team fighting with the computer?
Yep. So it's part of the customization. I think I'm going to lose this pretty badly, though. Just because, well, let's see if I can get rid of one of these.
No pressure. There's dozens of people watching. I love the hand fight in this, though.
Yeah.
That's one that's, I think the hand fight is in every one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's master hand, and I think maybe in the second version, which was melee, they introduced crazy hand if you were like played exceptionally well. But anyway, yeah. So I decided pretty early that I wanted to be a professor, and I kind of just stuck with it. What kind of professor I wanted to be shifted over time. Math wasn't what I originally wanted to pursue. It was some scientific discipline I wanted to pursue. I think my original love was like astrophysics.
That's fun.
As a sort of like, I guess, consistent with science in general. We look at the stars, we're like, what goes on up there?
Space is fun.
Yeah. But, then went to college, got my degree in mathematics, but I wanted to apply it in biological systems, and so I sort of looked around where are good programs to do that, and so I found there were several mathematical biology biomath programs, and then I just continued down that path, and here I am now.
So grad school, then postdoc. Do you guys have to do postdocs?
Yeah, I did postdocs. So grad school in Utah, University of Utah, spent 5 years there, and then 3 years in Houston as a postdoc, both at University of Houston and Rice University. My math PI was at University of Houston, and then I had a synthetic biologist that I worked with quite closely at Rice.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Pretty close. Collaborators.
Yeah.
I like it.
Close collab.
So you beat it already. We're 13 minutes in. What are we supposed to do with that?
Let's
bump up the difficulty?
Yeah, let's go again. Oh, right. There's this credits.
Oh, wow.
Credits scene where you just get to shoot all the names.
Classic arcade shooter.
Yeah.
Is this emulating a particular game, or is this just a...
I don't know. I feel like this has been also a thing that Smash has done.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Throughout the years. I can't remember if it was in the original.
Yeah, I bet somebody really had fun programming.
Yeah.
Of all the things you can do in this game. The credit fighting. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I missed one.
Totally worth it.
But we'll go like full maximum difficulty on the next one. So I don't know why. I don't know.
I mean, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Infinite quarters. So let's do it. This is pretty.
It's a lot of fun.
Are you excited when your name gets shot? Or are you upset that it's so distracting you can't read any of the names? How do you feel as a game programmer?
Right, yeah. It's like, oh, they're going to miss mine. But, no, yeah.
I mean, of the credits you could be in, I would be excited about this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be...
Memorable, unique. People might actually watch.
Yeah, they'd be like, tell people, hey, my name somewhere over there. You can try to find it. And I probably wouldn't misspell my name either. I don't know. My name is misspelled so much.
Oh, man. How do people spell it? They leave out the H?
It's always the H that's the issue. I think it's been placed in every possible location in my name. There's 7 letters, so it's just like, you know.
But when you pronounce it, it's a Bhargav? It's
Yeah,
not,
Bhargav.
you don't do Bahar.
No, I don't do
Bhargav.
Yeah, Bhargav.
Yeah. What's the origin of that?
It's an Indian name, Indian origin, and actually, like, the way we would pronounce it is actually a softer B. The Indian pronunciation, the correct pronunciation, I guess, is the B is softer and the H is slightly more emphasized, so it's like Bhargav. That's like Bhargava is the correct way to say it, but you know, Bhargav sort of pays the bills.
Yeah, split the difference,
Yeah.
settle. For the heathen pronunciation, I get it. I am Ham Gaming. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining us. Also, we got a follow before we started the stream from 011001111 01110101010011. Assuming that's one of your people.
Yeah.
That might say something, but I don't know what it is. So
Yeah, thank you. I don't know what that translates to.
if that has some fundamental meaning near and dear to your heart, let us know. We're curious. But
All right,
here we go.
I'll.
You should do Rob the Robot. Have you ever played that guy?
Yeah, I played Rob the Robot.
So there he is, right up there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, the original one for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh yeah, he's a lot of fun.
There's like 2 games that worked with him, and they were not fun games, but he's cool. I like Rob the Robot. Sorry, and you're playing on expert mode. I probably shouldn't have picked your character for you.
Oh no, it's fine. Let's just see what happens. Yeah.
So what are the best players in the world? Who do they play with? What's their go-to?
You mean in terms of character?
Yeah.
Like what character do they choose?
I mean, I imagine they've converged on certain ones they really like.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure if that's true for this particular Smash game. It's been true for the previous ones.
Yeah.
Where there's like a S tier character that just for some reason is broken in the game, one reason or the other.
Overpowered, yeah.
And this one, yeah, I mean there are a few that I think people converge on. Like, whoa, okay.
Wow, that's it. Yeah.
Let's see what's can't think of one off the top of my head, but like there's a character called Pyra and Mithra, which I don't know why they came to me first, but I think it's like 2 characters in one, and they have some pretty powerful moves, and they're kind of broken. I guess I'd have to see the actual character list, but like all these fighter, actually, like Ryu, who I was just playing with, I think is quite strong. So motivated, inspired by, like, I think the original Street Fighter and stuff like that. They have this property in the game where you always face the person you're fighting.
Yeah.
So like if so if I'm Rob, I'm facing away. Like Ryu would never do that. You just auto turn.
What just happened?
There was a bomb there that.
Oh, okay, that was it.
The
That's
character
all
ran into.
All right. I'm sorry I missed that. That was crazy. Yeah, wasn't like Kirby really good for one of the games?
Kirby was really good in the original.
Yeah.
Who was the really? I think Pikachu maybe was the top tier in that. In that one, Kirby was also very good. Kirby was everyone's favorite. I remember growing up, everyone would. I think maybe Kirby was the most intuitive to play with, and a lot of the kids I grew up with played with Kirby a lot.
It's fun. 01100 ... It translates to Gus. Well, Gus, thank you for joining us.
Oh, yes.
If I remember Gus, if not, I'll say you're 011 and leave it at that.
Oh.
That'll be our shorthand notation.
This might be one of my graduate students, but not like my graduate student, but a student who was in a seminar. I'm teaching, leading this semester. So
That's fun. Welcome to stream. A lot of first-time chatters. Thank you for joining us. Ask a Scientist Gaming, mediocre gameplay, expert science. If you guys have any questions, Bhargav's happy to answer them. We're talking about biomathematics, modeling complex biological systems with multi-scale models. I saw you did stuff like ant foraging or like neuron growth and social decision making and anything you can apply math to. Apparently, you're interested in. So that's fun.
I tried to do whatever I can in various fields. Yeah, so the decision making is probably like the least biological, but I don't know. I can sort of sell it as being a biological thing.
Social science.
It's more
we count that.
that's social science. Yeah.
Yeah.
Psychophysics, I think some people have called it. But
Hypatia Pan, first time chat. I was at seminar. Thank you for joining us. Oh, you shared the slides? You showed him the stream?
I did not. I just shared the link. Yeah, you know, as a math professor, I don't.
Oh yeah, I suppose you chalkboard.
I use chalkboards or the markers. But I did ask if people were interested, and then sent the link out.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, they're usually surprised that we even know about Twitch, let alone stream occasionally. So.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't. Yeah, Twitch. This would be my first interaction with Twitch.
Oh, for real? Had you heard of it before? Or?
I had heard of it.
Okay.
But I had never. I don't know. I don't know.
I love the fact that you fight the Wii Fit trainers in this.
Yeah.
Like their moves are yoga poses. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think one of the first things my wife noticed when we played this game was the Wii Fit trainer. It's like, oh, she's planking. It's like,
and murdering me.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. All right, but yeah, if you guys have questions, throw them out in chat. We will get to them as we progress. Ooh, I am Ham Gaming as a personal one. How old are you?
How old am I?
You don't have to answer that.
I have no reservations or anything. I'm 34.
34.
Yep, 34 years old.
All right. So anyone was curious, I am 42, despite the white hair. I'm not 50 yet. No, I occupy a weird space in my age because I'm at the border, like 1981, 1982 is the Gen X millennial transition. But like early millennial is very different than late millennial. And you're somewhere in between.
Yeah,
right? You grew up with internet the entire time, presumably.
I think maybe it was a thing my entire life, but like probably for the first 8 years of life, I don't remember using internet all that much. Until we got like one of those gigantic desktops, and then it was actually my sister had to start. You know, I had an older sister. I have an older sister, and that's just so she. I lost.
Wow, that was brutal.
But yeah,
Gus has a suggestion. You should play as Ganon. He has a big punch.
Ganon. Okay.
As in the Link bad guy Ganon.
Yeah, Ganon. Yeah, Ganon.
That's awesome.
Ganondorf. Yeah, my older sister's like, she was definitely the one who was being like, oh, I definitely have to have internet to do my homework now. And I remember it was like an argument with my parents a lot, like, do you need the computer for everything? Why can't you just use an encyclopedia or something?
And the slide rule, right?
Yeah. And it was like there was a transitional period, and then I think by the time, why can't I find Ganondorf? There he is. Okay. And then so by the time it was my turn to go into like middle school, high school, I used it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of the exponential growth in internet use is kind of astonishing thinking back. Like.
Yeah.
Like. But.
The internet sucks now, but early internet was amazing.
Yeah. Get out of here.
What the heck? Wow. Take that, Mario.
Yeah, he's very slow, but definitely
he lands the super punch, that's it.
It definitely packs a punch, yeah.
That's amazing.
So when I do play online, I'm always like, oh, Ganondorf, I should be able to beat up on this guy, but no, like the players who play with him online, like they figured out how to time his attacks and stuff, and they just always get me.
I haven't watched much Ultimate online fighting. I'm curious the strategies, because it's such a complex game, right? I mean, there's so many moves and the matchups that you can have, and I mean, you have to learn so many skill sets to be good at this.
Probably the thing that's inhibiting me from getting better is like I just refuse to like use my shield. I'm just
on principle.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not using, like, I'll dodge, but like I'm just like, I'm not using the shield, and I'm like, everyone who's using a shield is cheating. Like,
This is the hill you're gonna die on. Literally die on, because if you're good at a shield.
it's like that's just the shield. Like I could do it, but I'm just like I don't know how my brain's like, nope.
Just not gonna do it. That's amazing.
And I think that's probably my downfall.
Yeah, that's I mean, the people you play against, they regularly use shields.
Oh yeah, like I'll just keep pounding them, doing no damage, right? And then they just have their shield up.
But it's important you stuck to your principles.
Yes,
I respect that.
Best defense is a strong offense.
That's amazing. All right, going back to your mixed colleagues of many areas of interest and expertise. So my understanding is that. Contra, welcome back. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the subscription. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions, throw them in chat. We're talking mathematics, biomathematics, how you can apply math to solving biological problems, or at least modeling those problems. While playing a little bit of Super Smash Ultimate. So, Contra, thank you. And also, cheers. Ethanol in chat. Oh, man. Oh, sorry, I was going to ask you something. Your department. So my understanding, we've only had one mathematician on, and it was Edward White. He was a recently graduated PhD, so not a professor in the department, but he was working on, it was like non-Euclidean geometry thesis. But I mean, we talked about this, and I'm going to probe you on this. So your department, or most math departments, are like partitioned into applied and fundamental, or what is it? Pure mathematics?
Pure math, yeah.
And so you fall under the applied umbrella?
Yeah. Yes, I'm definitely in the applied umbrella. Some universities actually completely separate the departments. There's like a department of applied math and a department of math. We just have pure mathematicians and applied mathematicians. But it's interesting because I think even in the applied math group, and well, maybe let me say a little bit more about what the distinction is. Mm-hmm. So pure math is maybe what people think of math being like, oh, that's stuff that no one will understand, no one will ever apply to anything, like algebraic geometry. I mean, these are all useful in some capacity, but then I think the pure mathematicians really go to like the really deep level, and they're proving theorems rigorously. Everything is like
the Millennial Prizes or whatever those.
Oh yeah. You get $1 million.
Solve math for the sake of solving math.
Yeah, you get $1 million for solving a math problem. And I had a math professor who told me there are easier ways to make $1 million.
You solve the lottery. You get more than $1 million.
Yeah, it's like, you are not going to solve these problems, man.
It's been like one of them has been solved, right, or something like that. It's ridiculous.
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that are like, I don't know, all chalkboard. They don't, very little simulations and things like this. They're proving theorems, making everything as rigorous as possible. Theorem proof. If you read a paper from a pure mathematician, it'll definitely just be like theorem proof type of structure. Applied mathematicians, well, they like to apply math to some application, whether it's engineering, biology, chemistry, finance. They just apply to a bunch of stuff. And interestingly, though, there is a distinction between applied mathematicians as well. And this is what I sort of have a silly distinction for. There's the pure applied mathematicians, and then there's the applied mathematicians.
Interesting.
And the pure applied mathematicians are applied mathematicians who think about other stuff like engineering and science and stuff, but they still prove theorems.
I see.
So they're talking about things like Sobolev spaces and inner product spaces and things like this, and they prove theorems and stuff like that. And there's the applied mathematician who's like me, who I don't have any theorems in any of my, well, maybe I do, but like I don't prove theorems regularly, and I don't try to frame my science as theorem proof. I'm just really fundamentally interested in what I'm trying to model. I try to develop a model for it, and then I analyze the model to try to see what it can tell us about the physical system. And so, like, if you ask me what new math have you developed, I'll probably say, not much. I don't know, there's no, like, Karamched equation or anything. But I have some interesting models that can reveal some cool things about the different systems that I'm thinking about, which I think is a cool paradigm.
Julio and Checho like studying patterns. Is that what you do?
Do I study patterns?
Or is it like studying patterns? Presumably that's referring to applied.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to some extent, I don't actually think of my work as being like studying patterns. I guess I try to think of it as like, I don't know, just trying to understand like so there's like a toolkit of models that you can come up from. So I guess the pattern would be like, I have this one model. What are all the different systems that I can apply this model to and try to understand something about? So what are some common features of various biological systems that I can use, that I can try to take advantage of and develop a model and use a model to understand them. So in that sense, you can think of it as pattern recognition, studying patterns. But yeah, I wouldn't frame my research as being like studying patterns.
It's too belittling.
Yeah, it's not belittling, but it's actually, I don't know, like, yeah.
I mean, so when I teach Gen Chem, I tell them straight lines are the most amazing thing in the world, right? If you can have an equation and you draw a straight line, it means you can extrapolate, you can interpolate, you can predict behaviors. So, yeah, I like it. It's more complex than straight lines, obviously, but it's the same idea, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's fun. All right. Contra wants to know, does that mean you wind up crossing into more fields than usual? Like a pure mathematician stays in their lane, you have done a lot of different things.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. Definitely collaboration with professors from other fields.
So did you just beat it on the hardest setting?
I did, yeah.
Oh man, too easy.
But I did have to do like a continue. Like I lost once and I just used some resources like to continue. So it wasn't like I didn't lose at all.
Yeah. No worries. I mean, so you don't have to answer this question, but it always struck me that labeling it pure mathematics was pretentious. Right? Like, oh, you're not pure mathematics.
I mean, biomathematicians do face a little bit of that. I'm not so sure that it's like, I don't know if other applied mathematicians get this sort of attitude or attitude from other mathematicians, but there is this feeling that biomath is easy, and that like biomathematicians are not real mathematicians. That's what the mathematicians will tell you. And then there are some like biologists will be like, well, you're not a real biologist. You don't have any experiments or anything. So like, so we're kind of in this weird no man's land. But
I mean, as long as you're solving problems,
I remember one interaction I had at a conference I went to. It was a SciAm conference, and there was I don't know, somehow this guy who was giving a talk knew I was like a biomathematician. He was talking about some stochastic differential equation, and like I asked him a question, and his response was, "Wow, you know this stuff way better than I thought you people did." And I was like,
"What do you mean, you people?"
I was like, "Wait a minute, wait."
What the hell?
Yeah, so you do get these elitist, folks, but it's all part of the game. I think the feeling that biomath is easy comes from this notion that we don't prove theorems, so we're not like making everything rigorous and stuff like that. But what we do have the talent for and sort of the ability and what we train is like looking at a system and being like, what are the basic parts here and how can I construct a meaningful model about the system to try to extract some information at the fundamental level about these systems. And that, I think, is, you don't really think of it as being hard. You don't really think of it as being like math, pure math, right? But it's definitely a challenging thing.
Man, so you beat this again. Should we try to get on Wi-Fi again just to see if we can do it?
Yeah, let's try to get
online.
So you can, so I'll just...
Yeah, so I'll get us to Talking Heads. All right, we're gonna try. I'm not gonna give you guys my Wi-Fi password just in case you're lurking outside and want to steal my internet. So let's back out to home and we'll try again. I mean, it's one of those the brick wall.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the issues. I need a Wi-Fi booster in here. Oh man. Contra. Pure was downgraded from fundamentalist. I mean, is there factioning in your department? You don't necessarily have to answer this question, but is there pure versus applied, or is it kind of messier than that?
I think FSU math department is one of the rare departments where it doesn't feel like pure versus applied. We're pretty much very synergistic, which has been really nice. So like any like committee that evaluates faculty has like representatives from all the different groups. So the math department at FSU is sort of subdivided into 4 subgroups: the pure math, applied and computational math, and financial math, and biomath. And so we have quite a diverse department, and there's different aspects to each subgroup that that other groups won't understand. So when you're trying to evaluate a person, a candidate that you're trying to hire or something, it's just really helpful that you have all viewpoints trying to sort of evaluate a person.
But you guys hire in those areas then? You'll search specific. Okay.
Yeah, like we'll be like, we're hiring a biomath position. We're hiring financial math, applied math, things like that.
All right. The connection's bad here, so keep doing this, or you want to play something else? It's up to you. 36 minutes in, so
let's go to Super Mario World.
Super Mario World. All right, let's change our input here. That's another classic. We're going back in time, ladies and gentlemen. We beat up on Mario, so now we're going to save the world with Mario. So that seems like a natural progression, right?
I think this was the first game I ever played.
Oh, this is it. So we're jumping back in time. I think 91 was when this was released in the US, but Super Mario World, the first Mario game on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. So you can start over or play one of those. It's up to you.
All right, I guess I'll go empty. 1-player game. Oh, there's a 2-player game in this?
You just take turns. It's at the same time. Yeah, it's classic original Mario sequential gameplay.
Oh, and this is when they still called her Princess Toadstool instead of Peach.
And I apologize for the coughs, ladies and gentlemen. I'm recovering from a cough and also pollen. I don't know if that affects you, but it's starting.
Yeah. The pollen is definitely coming down, and oh man. This game is a throwback a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to get this coin.
Oh, no, you have to.
Gotta get this
The audience won't respect you once you get that coin. But man, I've been here 12 years now, and I bike to work regularly, but I look back on my biking history, and it's like from February to March, I just don't bike at all. Because the pollen. If you guys haven't been through it, like when I'm biking, it looks like a scene like when Star Trek, when they go into warp drive. It's just pollen coming at you in the lights, and it's so bad. But yeah, what happened was this year it's been extra cold for the last like month, so it's like all built up, and now pollen everywhere. It's gonna hit bad over the next like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean I think this is the first place I have lived where like I've seen people like, what is it, pressure wash the sidewalk?
Yeah,
because there's so much pollen just building up.
It's just a slight yellow-green tint to it.
Yep.
Yeah. You can make snow angels and pollen. You guys are interested? Come out to Tallahassee next week.
Oh.
I love the giant bullet bill.
Yeah.
When I first saw that blew my mind. That was a moment.
Like, what do you mean? How do I avoid this thing? Yeah.
All right, catching up. I am Ham Gaming. What is the best equation?
That's the best equation.
Objectively, what is the best equation that has ever existed? No pressure. You're speaking on behalf of all mathematics.
Oh man. Okay. What is the best equation?
Believe it or not, we have a consistent answer on this stream, actually.
Oh, really?
Or at least several people across several disciplines.
Wow. I might not. Okay. Well, now I feel pressure. So.
No. What's your equation? What's your go-to? Either personal favorite or most utility in mathematics.
So okay, okay. So that's two different questions. So I'll answer both of them.
All right.
I think the best equation is Euler's formula.
That is the correct answer.
That is the correct answer.
Yep. Across physics, chemistry, biology, we've had several different disciplines. And have you seen Sonic 3, the movie?
Yes.
Euler's equation is the best equation.
Yeah,
Robotnik's.
Yeah, Euler's equation. But they're probably thinking of e to the I pi plus 1 equals 0. Right.
Yep.
That's the. I think I would replace that with, just e to the ix equals cosine x plus I sine x, from which you can sort of derive this e to the I pi plus 1 equals 0.
So you're going more fundamental then.
Yeah, I think it's
interesting.
I would say e to the. Am I saying that right now? E to the ix equals cosine x plus I sine x. Yes, I think that's probably the coolest equation.
So what does that allow you to do?
Well, it's actually a very deep question. So if you look at second order differential equations, linear differential equations, the solutions are always given by exponentials, exponential solutions. But like if you also look at the second order linear equations that govern a harmonic oscillator, right? Those exhibit oscillatory solutions, and exponentials don't oscillate. But then you can, with this formula, e to the ix equals cosine x plus I sine x, there's this fundamental relationship between exponentials and oscillatory phenomenon. So like, and oscillatory functions. And so like you can represent solutions to second order differential equations as, so it allows it to be consistent, right? Like you have, but exponentials don't oscillate. How can you have a linear differential equation that has exponential solutions oscillate? It's because of this formula, which is pretty amazing.
It's fun.
Whoa, I forgot about
this. Is this coming back to you? When was the last time you played this game?
This game, I think around the same time I realized that you can download some of these older games on the Switch. I think I maybe played this once or twice.
Do you have the SNES emulator on the Switch?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I played more when these were the guys that are like really annoying, right?
Yeah.
Yoshi, please.
Moles.
I think Yoshi's gone. Oh, here you are. All right. Wait.
So you can hold Y as run.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I see. I
There
forgot
you go.
about that.
That makes life easier.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Part of the challenge. All right, so we talked about speedrunning a little bit. I have to ask every guest this. Like, speedrunning, beat the game as fast as you can. What do you think the speedrun world record for this game is?
For this game,
To get to the end credits.
man. Like, I don't know, 15 hours?
This is one of my favorite ones because it's very deceptive. The answer is 41 seconds.
Oh my god.
So the way they've beaten this game in 41 seconds, and as a mathematician / programmer, you'll appreciate this, is basically they figured out a way to write to RAM by positioning things on the screen. And so basically they have a point where they position a bunch of stuff right to the code, and then they execute by like dropping the mushroom at the right time. And in 41 seconds, they've basically written going to credits.
Oh,
and
wow.
they've also written through that playing like Flappy Birds, if you remember that game where you have tubes on it and you have to go through.
Yeah.
They've written the game through this kind of thing. So it's not a real beating of the game by any means, but it's the 96 exit record is actually 1 hour and 21 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So someone's beaten every single level in 1 hour and 21 minutes.
That's incredible. Like, Did you play this game?
Oh
a
yeah,
lot?
no,
Yeah.
I played it a bunch.
Like, did you ever get like there's like the super
Star Road.
Is it called Star Road?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Star Road. We should see if we can get to it.
And then if you beat it, like it takes you to like the beginning of the game again, but like the colors are all different.
Yeah, and you have like faces on the Koopas and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I think after I got there, I was like, okay, I think I'm done playing this game. But I don't know. Is there more to it after you?
So you can. There's Bowser Castle. So
Yeah.
the Star Road gets you to like the back door of Bowser's Castle, and if you beat Bowser, that's beating the game.
Okay.
And my brother and I were upset at some point because we beat this when we were younger. This was one of the few times we called Nintendo Power. You remember that phone number that you like call and get advice? Because we were upset. Like we beat the game, and they're like, the point of the game is not to beat Bowser; it's to beat all 96 exits.
Yeah.
And so any of the levels that have red dots, you can beat them 2 different ways.
Oh.
So that was the like how they made it a more elaborate game. So you have to beat every exit.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, fun video game trivia.
Yeah, I remember this like 2 exit thing, yeah, being like, oh, there's another way to beat this game.
Yeah, anyone that has a red dot, there's 2 exits associated with it.
Ah.
No, that was the last jump of the level too. Yeah, that was it. That was the exit tape right there. Oh man. All right, so going back earlier, you talked about, modeling systems, right? Where you can have shared models across various different systems. We've had, man, who was our guest? Scientific computing. He modeled like fire propagation.
Oh wow, okay.
Who is that? I gotta look up the name. I see his face. I just don't remember names well. Brian Quaife. So he's in scientific computing, and he models like fire propagation, right? Yeah. And so it brought up an interesting discussion. Like you can take fluid dynamics and model everything from traffic in a shopping mall to fire propagation in a forest fire.
Yes.
And so what's the weirdest example of that you can think of off the top of your head? Where like a model is applied to 2 very different extreme things, like ant foraging and I don't know, restroom lines at a rock concert. Like do you have an example off the top of your head?
Oh man, that's a tough question.
Yeah, especially while you're playing. I apologize, but
Yeah.
it's something that always shocks me because we want to believe we're unique snowflakes, and yet we are just particles in a fluid dynamics simulation, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, actually, I like so very different.
Or even just a simple one where you found in your analysis like 2 semi-related things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can talk. Okay. Well. Okay. So if I have to have one theme in all my research, and as you've mentioned, I've dipped my toes in several disciplines. Is I basically use the diffusion equation. It's like if I have to write down one equation as soon as I like encounter an application I'm trying to study, probably the first equation I'll write down is the diffusion equation. And so the diffusion equation is a parabolic partial differential equation. It's one of the sort of paradigmatic partial differential equations. It just says, so in 1D, it's you have some function u, say, and then you say the derivative of u with respect to t is equal to the second derivative of u with respect to x. So the derivative with respect to time is equal to or proportional to the second derivative of the same function with respect to space. And this models, concentration gradients, how chemical molecules sort of travel down. Sorry, this is harder than it looks. This is like way harder than it looks.
Challenging questions. I apologize, but that's what makes this fun.
Yeah, right. It's like, okay, so like how do chemicals move down their concentration gradients as an example, but then also how does heat dissipate in a rod is the exact same equation. There's also applications to like circuits. So the laws that underlie the diffusion equation is called Fick's law. That pertains to chemical diffusion, but then also Fourier's law, which is about heat dissipation. and then Ohm's law, which of course relates the current and potential and all that stuff. So it's the same equation that underlies all of these, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. Imagine there has to be like an application in economics or something, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like I even use the diffusion equation when studying my social decision making. So it's like, so the perspective that we take in social decision making is we're modeling a person's belief, and there's like a rigorous way to think about this in terms of Bayesian, from a Bayesian perspective. And so you can model the belief of a person in the face of like noisy evidence. So imagine a person is trying to choose between two options, and there is a correct option and an incorrect option, and they have to base their decision on noisy information. How does their belief towards which decision is correct change in time? And it turns out it diffuses, right? Like
that's amazing.
So it's like
it's a decision gradient.
Yeah, right.
I like that.
It's moving down the information gradient is what's happening. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. So the diffusion equation appears everywhere in biology, which is kind of interesting. But also, like, I think one thing that I was kind of fascinated by when I was studying partial differential equations was, I already talked about the diffusion equation. There's another fundamental equation called the wave equation, which I don't know. Have you worked any with the wave equation?
Wave equation, like Schrodinger's wave equation?
It's similar. It's not as I mean, there's no I or anything. Maybe there is an I that pops up if you look at solutions, but it's just basically Newton's law of how, like,
like just a classical wave equation.
Yeah.
Okay.
The classical wave equation. Yeah. It always sort of, I don't know if it freaked me out or it weirded me out that, like, if you look at the steady state equation, the steady state solution to the diffusion equation, so chemicals diffusing, and the steady state equation for the wave equation, they're the same. So it's like at equilibrium, these two systems behave in the exact same way, which is like, okay.
A wave is a dynamic process.
Yeah.
Right? And it shouldn't be steady state. I guess it's a standing wave, right? So it approximates to steady state. That's interesting.
So I guess this is, I'm at a castle. But I guess this is, I like how, like, the password to opening the gate is to just look up in this game. He just goes up and...
The rules of Mario universe. I like it.
So I have to look up. But yeah, I think maybe that's what's been the most weird to me. I wonder, probably others would have more interesting answers.
One thing I like about the stream is we get to ask questions that are just out there, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody's going to ask you this in Calculus 3, right? It's very focused and narrowed, but like when you think broad picture, it's fun. I mean, especially applied mathematics, because math is everywhere in everything we do in science. But I keep telling students, like, so I teach group theory and inorganic spectroscopy, right? Group theory is 150 years old,
right?
And inorganic chemists think they invented it, kind of thing, right? Like, because it applies very elegantly to predicting like vibrational modes and transitions and all sorts of stuff. But and what I tell them is the most valuable thing in chemistry is probably a math equation that was discovered 50 years ago, right? And it hasn't been applied in a unique way yet.
Whoa.
That was cozy. Nice. So did you beat this game back in the day? You got Star Road.
Yeah, I got Star Road. I think I do. I think I did beat it, and I kind of felt like it felt a little anticlimactic to me, if I remember correctly. But I was happy that that
beat Bowser.
I think. Whoa. Oh yeah, and all these guys have different names, right?
Yeah.
Like Lenny and
they came back. I don't know. Are you familiar with Mario Maker for the Switch?
No. What is Mario Maker?
So Mario Maker is basically anyone can design a Mario level. So it has Mario 1, Mario 3, Super Mario World, New Super Mario Brothers, and Mario 3D. And it just gives you a template, like you can just make levels. And what's really cool is you upload those levels and anyone can play. And so you can play an infinite number of Mario levels across all the platforms. And so Yeah.
This
and
one's
so
Iggy.
those bosses end up showing up in
Oh, interesting.
at levels. Like you can put Iggy and then the subsequent 7 brothers and sisters or whatever they are. So yeah, that's my go-to game actually, is Mario Maker.
Mario.
Indefinite Mario play.
All
right. Contra wants to know, so much drama in the final days of Mario Maker. So Mario Maker had a server, right, where they had all these games uploaded. And Mario Maker 2 is out now. So Mario Maker 1, they stopped updating the server, and they said, we're going to shut down the Mario Maker server. And the goal was to beat every single Mario Maker 1 level. And there's millions and millions of levels. And it turns out the last level that was yet to be beat was actually somebody used like some kind of computer interface to execute it.
Oh wow!
And so it was unbeatable by a person, and it was only beatable by a computer. And there was like this competition to see who could beat it last. And the creator finally admitted it's not beatable by a person.
Oh.
And so it's super anticlimactic. The last level was essentially cheating. So that's the drama that Contra's talking about, actually. I'm assuming that's the drama you were talking about. All right, Contra wants to know. Actually, we're at 8:55. We should do a prediction. Anyone's here? Yeah, we should do. Which one do you want to do? Which one do you want to go with? But someone did beat it. They found basically they call it cheese in Mario Maker, some way to beat it that didn't require the cheat or perfect input. But anyway,
yeah,
what do you want to do?
Either one of the first two. Yeah.
All right, let's start with number 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a prediction. We're almost an hour in. Time flies while you're having fun and beating some opponents in Super Smash and playing some Super Mario World for the first time in a long time. But yeah, we're going to put up a prediction. Those of you not familiar, predictions are on Twitch. They're typically gaming related, where we'll say, you know, will Bhargav beat this level with this life? And you'll bet yes or no. But in our stream, we have our guests come up with questions. And so he brought questions with him, and we're going to ask those questions to you guys. So you have to answer this question based on what you know about either Bhargav's gameplay or what you know about mathematics or whatever topic we're going to ask these questions on. And you can gamble as many of our standard internet units as you want. And so if you're not following us, click the follow button. You'll get standard internet units that you can gamble on this question. You can use those internet points to unlock emotes. You can make us take a drink. You can request a factoid, a bunch of different stuff that you can do with those points. But also you can gamble with pride that you got a question right or wrong. So prediction is up right now at the top of chat. If you click that predict button, you will be allowed to pick between 2 answers. So if we have 23 random people in a room, what are the chances that 2 share a birthday? Is it less than 50% or greater than 50%? And I love how precise the number 23 is here. So we're gonna explore this answer, but you guys can't look this up. You can't use ChatGPT. We're on Ask a Scientist Gaming honor code. So based on what you know about statistics, 23 people, is it greater than 50% or less than 50% that they will share the same birthday? Anything you want to add to that? I think it's a pretty straightforward question. Right?
Yeah, I think that about sums it up.
I mean, so this is a classic one. It's the statistic is higher than you think, but the number 23 is striking me as something interesting here. So I look forward to discussing this answer. So how are you feeling about Super Mario World?
Yeah, it definitely feels like I don't know, I'm in my parents' living room again, sitting on the floor.
Brings you back.
Yeah.
But instead answering questions about nonlinear dynamics and favorite equations.
Yeah.
I Am Gaming Birthday Paradox is that the famous name for this? Birthday Paradox?
I actually don't know if there's a name. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how to beat. I've never known how to beat this. I'm sure there's a rhythm where you hit them all right, but we lack that rhythm. So it goes. All right, you guys have about 10 seconds left. Put your guesses in right now. We're asking, if we put 23 random people in the room, what are the odds that 2 share a birthday? Is it greater than 50% or less than 50%? Oof, they're betting heavy on greater than 50%. All right, Bhargav, what's the answer?
Yeah, the answer is greater than 50%.
Oh, man. So what's the actual percent? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's about 53%.
50. So if we put 22 people, it would have been less than 50%.
Yeah, it probably would have been. Yeah, it would have been less than 50%. So it's like the critical value at which you get greater than a 50% probability.
Next time you're on, let's put 22 people.
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm like, of course, like they're gonna choose the one that's sort of the more surprising. Like, why else would
Exactly.
it?
It's meta information.
Yeah,
right?
why else would it be an interesting question?
Yeah.
Um,
But so this is counterintuitive. We got 365 days. We got 23 people.
Yep.
How does 50%? How does that manifest?
Yeah, so that's the typical thinking, right? That's the linear thinking where we're like, oh, 365 days. So I probably need, 365 people or something to have two people have to share.
Mm-hmm.
But that's if you're thinking from the individual perspective. The correct perspective to take is you have to think about how many pairs of people can you extract from a group of 23 people. So it's like 23 choose 2.
Yeah.
Right, and that's on the order of 23 squared, which is, it's less than 625, but it's still pretty big. Mm-hmm. And so, like, out of 600 or so pairs, then you can sort of intuit that there's a higher probability for one of these pairs to have the same birthday. You just have so many more pairs to think about.
And so the thing people fail when answering this question is the assumption that what's the likelihood of a second person being on this exact date? Right?
Yes.
Like you've limited the scope when that's not what the question's actually answering.
That's exactly right. There's sort of this self-centered bias that people have when they hear the question. They hear the question as, what's the probability another person has the same birthday as me?
Yeah.
Right? And then that's a different question. That's certainly not, you're certainly not more than 50% in a group of 23 people. But the chance that any two, or not any two, that some two will share a birthday is a little bit over 50%.
So 53-ish is what we said?
53-ish.
Yeah. But if we put 22.
But if we put 22, it would have been less than 50%.
Congratulations to the winners. You guys bet strong in one particular direction. In fact, 97% of the betting was towards greater than 50%. Okay. And so they won a 1.04 to 1 ratio on that. So
wow.
A 4% return on your correct question. Congratulations. Sorry, Dark Horse Bet, you did not win that one. But if you did, you would have got a 28.8 to 1 payout. So yeah, this is kind of fun. I mean, as a mathematician, you'll appreciate. So they don't just gamble yes or no, right? They bet a certain amount of points. It's like a confidence assessment, which I would love to give a Gen Chem test where I did like gamble points. You have 100 points, bet your points accordingly. Yeah.
Wow. That's fun.
Yeah, it's like it goes beyond just knowledge. It goes to game theory. Like, how confident are you in your answer? Contra, I only got it right because I misunderstood the question.
Also,
it's awesome.
Also a possibility. But yeah, I also sense, I'm not accusing anyone, but probably some shenanigans of looking stuff up. But
did you guys cheat? You've been accused of cheating. Cheaters!
No one could have gotten that answer right.
Stuck under. I went to all in because at the end, it was brought up in a statistics class recently.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a fun, plastic, counterintuitive statistics example, right?
It's a fun answer to think about. Yeah.
It's like, man, what are other ones of that? There's like coin flipping ones as well, where it's...
Yeah, right. Like, I forget how to frame it properly, but it's like if you, like, you get like a point for going heads or something. If you flip a coin and there's a point for flipping head, I'm not saying this properly, but it's like the probability that you're like winning after one flip is like not 50%, even though flipping a heads or tails is 50%, something like this. There's some weird like probability. Probability has all sorts of interesting.
Yeah, that's counterintuitive
results.
Man, that's one of the things I hate about people trying to use intuition to analyze big problems, because it just does. You cannot comprehend infinity. You can't comprehend big numbers. You can't comprehend multiple outcomes. Like,
have you heard of unimaginably large numbers?
I've heard of the concept.
Yeah.
Please elaborate.
So this is a pure math thing, right? But there's these numbers that are called unimaginably large because like if you try to think about them, you will get a headache. And I've tried really hard.
And you got a headache?
And I got a headache. Like, man, like it's hard to describe, but there's this graph theory problem that was solved by, I think, by a guy named Graham. And Graham's number is like an upper bound on the number of nodes that some sort of graph can have. But the upper bound is like larger than the number of atoms in the universe, so it's like so big that and it's like way bigger than the number of atoms in the universe. So it's like you just start thinking about it and you're like, oh, I'm headache. But it's you start thinking of like it's like 2 to the third power, but then the 2 to the third to the third to the third to the third to the third. If you just keep going and you try to understand that, they starts hurting your head. But
so one of the hills you were going to die on is not using your shield in Super Smash Brothers. One of the hills I'll die on is Infinity. The name is a disservice to the representation. The name Infinity should have been some ridiculously long, like Flingeldop and Chubalop, like a 30-syllable something or other, just to represent the largeness of it.
Oh yeah,
too simple. And there's different flavors of Infinity.
Right. That's fair. Like people don't appreciate how what am I doing here? People don't appreciate like how large infinity is. So one of my favorite questions so chemistry, right? Like, Avogadro's number. Like we just fling it around like 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd.
Yeah.
No worries,
10
no problem.
to the 23rd.
And so I always what's the trick here? What am I missing here? This is one of those levels. Okay. Oh, something with these ghosts. I can't remember. But I always ask my students, like, a thought experiment. Like, wait a minute, if you were born with like a mole of dollars, right? So 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd dollars, and every second of your life you spent $1 million, and let's assume you live to be 100 years old. What fraction of your money would you have when you died?
Yeah.
And it's like 100%. Oh man,
and that blows my mind too when you talk about people like Elon Musk not wanting to be taxed.
Right.
You don't understand what he makes. Like in a second, he makes $300,000 or something ridiculous. Yeah. Like it's incomprehensible how big those numbers are. I am ham gaming. Also, number of atoms in the observable universe is pretty small, something like 53 factorial. Yeah, I mean that's a digestible number to some extent.
Right.
Have you heard of uncomputable numbers?
I have not, but
interesting.
No, I don't. 53 factorial. Yeah, that sounds about right.
that's a big number, but it's not headache big.
Yeah. Like if you really want to, like if you're like, hey, I really need a headache right now, go look up unimaginably large numbers and try to think about one of them. What am I doing wrong?
I honestly don't remember how to beat this. So you hit the P switch and you went through the door, right?
Yeah.
So try that again.
So okay.
Through that door.
Come on. There we go. Oh, maybe I don't hit this and I go through the door? I don't know.
Maybe this is useless. Maybe you go to the right.
Oh. Is this telling me I have to
I think you can turn that into a block path, but I don't think that's how you beat this one. Just try going to the right. So if you go through there,
it just takes me back to the...
And then hit the P switch and then go through the door again.
Oh, the one on the right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the arrow is just taking me to the wrong spot.
Maybe?
Nope.
Oh my god. This is your life now. This is what an infinite loop looks like.
Oh.
Hofstadter was right. This is your life now. All right, let's catch up on a few of these questions. Gecko had a follow-up on the discussion. The actual the answer for our previous question about shared birthdays is 50.8%. the 53% assumes 365 days. If you use 365.25 to account for leap years,
That's fair.
the answer is 50.8%.
That's fair. Yeah, there are some assumptions I should have elaborated.
That's awesome. You got well, actually. Well, actually. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, no, that's a fair critique of my, my number that I gave you. That's absolutely correct. I think I also assumed that twins don't exist.
That's a good point.
And
we need to know these assumptions. After all, we're talking pure mathematics here.
What are the assumptions?
011, also known as Gus. I think you would still have to take into account the lower probability of February 29th birthday, no? Because the 0.25 probably does not capture that, right? I don't know. Well, now you have
now there's okay, I've started something here. I have
started a fight in chat.
I have begun a movement.
Oh, you can carry the P-switch through the door.
You can carry the P-switch? I didn't even know. Mario can pick things up in this game?
Yes, if you hold the Y button. In fact, you should be holding the Y button more. Yeah.
Oh, because I should be running.
Yep, exactly. Speed strats. It's going to prep you for NARC, even though you can't run in NARC. No, I was asking, can you carry the P-switch? Yes, the answer is you can.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's the answer. Somebody knows how to do this. I have not played this game in a long time. So you can pick it up.
And go through this door? It must be
Maybe
this.
pick it up. Pick it up. What? Go. Let's see what that does.
Maybe the other door.
Hit it. Does it do anything?
Oh!
There you go, Contra. Look at that. Backseat gaming, we'll take that.
If I had 1,000 tries, I don't think I would have. I would be like, this game is not advanced enough to.
That was it. That's the level. Holy crap! Good job, Contra.
Thank you, Contra.
That's amazing. And there's a second way to beat this. And honestly, I don't know what it is. But if it's a
I think I know the second way. I think you have to have the feather, and then you fly up to the top, and there's another passage.
That's perfect. All right, catching up on a few things. Seconder. Also, hi, Bhargav. Hope Florida's treating you well. How does the food compare to Houston? Ooh.
Tallahassee. The food in Houston's amazing.
I was going to say, Houston is what, 2 million people, something like that?
It's huge, incredibly diverse. You get basically a restaurant for any, culture. You can, and it's all like top quality. I don't know, like the food in Houston is amazing. I can't really. It wouldn't be fair to Tallahassee to compare it to Houston.
Well, let's reframe the question. What's your favorite restaurant in Tallahassee?
In Tallahassee,
what's your go-to when you recruit faculty? What's your go-to when you're on date night?
So let's see. I think the one I've gone to most is for some special occasions is Masa. Masa. Have you been?
I've been to Masa.
Yeah, I think I've gone there several times.
So I'll counterpoint. I like Sakura more than Masa. Sakura?
I have not been to Sakura. Where is Sakura?
So it's on Monroe as you're going north before Masa. It's much smaller, but okay. I'd argue it's better Japanese food.
Okay.
But yeah, Masa has a really nice like ambiance decor, right? Like I really like.
Yeah.
But I'd argue the food is better at Sakura.
Probably wouldn't get an argument from me. I'm not a food snob, but like I don't know. I think it takes a lot for me to say, wow, this is a great like restaurant or the food.
Yeah. You have not done that at Tallahassee yet?
I don't think so.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I have gaming. Persis and Harry's are the best.
Persis is reasonable. You can't. So I am of Indian origin. So like.
Ooh, that's a good one. What's your favorite Indian restaurant?
It's hard to say. You're really putting me on the spot here.
Yeah, this is on YouTube forever.
It's like this guy, the owners, and will be like, this guy said the other restaurant's better.
You're gonna see a photo of your face on the wall.
Do not, sir. They do not serve. I would say that probably the most standard one is Essence of India.
India, that's the one by Olive Garden.
That's the one by Olive Garden.
Okay,
Yeah. I think that's like the typical Indian restaurant that you can find in the States, where you have like, you know, the naan and the paneer butter masala and all that stuff. I think that's probably the standard one. The best one. See what I have to go through. What are all the ones that are available? So there's Persis, there's Arus, there's Essence of India, there is Zan. Have you?
No, where's that?
So Zan is a new one, relatively
Zan.
new. Zaan. I think the original version. I think that like the original Zan is in Thomasville actually. Maybe that might be a wrong statement. There might be other Zans, but Zan is, I think it's on Monroe Street, and it's relatively new. I think it's probably the best one, in my opinion, in terms of.
That's the one that took over?
Yeah, it took over
on Moreau. There was like a seafood restaurant or something there. Here's a link if anyone's interested.
But yeah, Zan. I think Zan is
It's like right next to where Sakura used to be. Is
it? Okay.
Or where Masa used to be, the small one. Yeah.
But it is definitely more pricey. It's a pricier place, but
it's like across from FedEx, if I'm remembering, or something like that. Like FedEx is on the way. Yeah. Anyway, there's a link if you guys want to check it out. So that's the one. That's relatively new. I've never been there.
Yeah.
But that's the one you recommend.
That's the one I would recommend. Again, it is pricey, and like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, actually, we were talking about Richard Bertram. I had dinner with Richard over there one time, and he was telling me how it used to be a restaurant where he like played a gig. So he
has an event, yeah.
And oh right, one of these things.
Follow-up question: you think Richard would do Ask a Scientist Gaming?
I think he'd be interested. I don't know.
It's the gaming thing.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a
gamer.
I don't know if he's a gamer. You could ask him. I mean, he's a close collaborator. I saw that Mike Roper did this.
He was on. Yeah, he's done it a couple times actually.
Oh, really? He's a close collaborator. Richard is of Mike's. And so...
Yeah, I've been on a few committees with him, but I've never asked. I do a lot of this via word of mouth. Just somebody suggested either like FSU PR or like a guest will suggest additional people.
Okay.
So, yeah. I don't know who suggested you, because it was a cold email from me, right? It was.
Yeah.
It might have been the PR office.
Okay.
They're like, oh, are they under the age of 40 and, willing to talk? Let's do it.
Oh, interesting. But so... What's interesting is I knew about this Ask a Scientist Gaming, not because like I somehow like found it on the internet, but like I think either so my wife is a dental hygienist, and I think she cleaned either your teeth or your wife's teeth.
Oh, what?
and I think during the conversation, like this podcast came about as a topic, and so like I knew about it and I was like, oh, I want to go. Actually, I wanted to participate, but I was like, I don't know how to just.
Yeah. The answer is email Ken, because I'm always looking for guests.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't remember the name. She was like, I don't know. It's a chemistry professor, and I'm like, well, there are a lot of chemistry professors.
Oh man.
And I'm not gonna like.
I randomly email. Hey, do you play video games on Twitch? Like, who's this lunatic?
Yeah. So like that's how that's how I heard about you via my wife. Yeah.
That is the most amazing convoluted. Like I've heard from like Reddit, or I had a friend on, or whatever it might be. But man, dental appointment. Holy shit. And I give my wife a hard time, like, hey Debbie, I'm Tallahassee famous. And this just further exemplifies that. You'll have to tell her on the way out.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it was Debbie. Like I am not a conversational person. I'm an introvert, and like this medium is awesome because we just drink and hang out, right? But in a normal, casual environment, I would never reveal that. So I'm assuming Debbie was the one that said something. that's really fun. Well, I'm glad you said yes, because it's a bit of an unusual ask, and as you've seen, it's a challenge, right? To talk.
It's quite hard.
I mean, with that said, you crush Super Smash.
Oh yes, thank you. Yeah,
Easy and most difficult, right?
yeah, that's right.
Sorry about the internet connection. It would have been nice to see you get stomped by some 8-year-olds.
By some 8-year-old, probably a 3-year-old. I don't know.
Kids these days.
When I was in graduate school, I had like this really silly conversation with like, just like my office mates. I would be like, "Hey, who do you think is the oldest person? How old do you think is the oldest person that could beat you up? And how old do you think is the youngest person that could beat you?"
Oh man.
And I think we were like, there's probably like an 8-year-old out there who could just like totally like mop the floor with me.
If you look at like videos of Mike Tyson at like 10 years old, like I believe that.
Yeah.
Right? Like his neck is thicker than mine at 8. Like,
yeah.
What was the oldest? What did you guys converge on?
I think oldest we were like, I think we went to like 80. We were like, there's an 80-year-old guy out there or 80-year-old person out there who's just gonna like pick up their walking stick and just like
rock you. Follow-up question: what nonlinear model would you use to describe that?
Oh wow. Like
you should formalize this in a
like probability of losing versus age. Like I think it's like
man.
It's like a discontinuous step, right? Like it's like probably like definitely no 0-1-year-old is gonna. I hope not. Although
it has to be a step function at some point, right?
Yeah. It's like there's definitely no way. Like
I could take a 1-year-old.
Although my 2-year-old toddler might have something to say about that. He does. That's
your oldest?
Yeah, I only have one currently.
Oof.
But yeah, he definitely.
Terrible 2s are misleading, though. It's the 3s that get you.
That's what everyone keeps telling me. My son just turned 2.
Wow.
And
oh, look at that! Nice.
Oh, okay.
GG's. I don't use emotes enough. I should. Contra, thank you for using the emotes. It really is underappreciated. Yeah, we have a bunch of emotes for the stream.
Oh, interesting.
Just random.
Oh, you just push it.
Part of our affiliate stat. Yeah, this is my like hotkey controller, so I can switch between talking heads and like whatever game we're playing, and also post emotes to chat directly. It's kind of fun.
So is that the company that makes them stream?
So Stream Deck is they do a lot of streaming technology.
Oh, okay.
And so all this is just a hotkey assignment, right? But it's a secondary. That's a Stream Elgato Lite as well. So yeah, streaming hardware. There we go, Contra. Deity Sagan. That's awesome. You know Scott Stagg from biology?
I do. Yeah, he's also in the Molecular Biophysics Institute. Yeah.
And so Scott, when I asked him what his no moral qualms, unlimited budget, what he'd do, he said he'd start a religion around science with Carl Sagan as the deity. And so we have an emote here. You can see it's Carl Sagan with a halo, like a classic Renaissance. Yeah. So Scott earned his emote from that one.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, which I'll get back to that question with you as well, but the question from I Ham Gaming. That's an amazing name, and I have to like consciously think through pronouncing that every time, but I love it. I Ham Gaming has asked, what are we drinking tonight? So we're drinking a little bit of Dr. Pepper Zero. In my case, I added rum to it, which is the Kraken. So here's the rum I'm adding to it. Sorry it's inverted because I'm switching the screen, but the Kraken rum. Fun factoid, and I learned this looking up. So we have a command in chat where we can show what the drink is. This is called the Doc Ock.
Oh, wow.
And so the Kraken, whatever brand name is, they obviously have a giant octopus, plus Dr. Pepper equals Doc Ock. That's the name of the drink. So we're drinking Doc Ock's tonight, or at least I'm drinking Doc Ock's tonight.
Ken I don't drink, but Ken graciously still let me come on this.
Oh yeah,
this stream.
Well, and let's be honest, I can drink for 2 tonight, so it's an excuse on a Wednesday night to hang out.
After giving 3 lectures, right?
Oh my God, today was just something else. So I published a paper recently on detecting generative AI use on a multiple choice exam.
Oh, awesome!
Which is a crazy like side project I have going on. But I got an invite from the College of Social Sciences to present there.
Oh, wow.
And so that's one of the talks I gave today. And then another one was a lecture in physics about transient absorption spectroscopy. And then another one was just a chemistry talk. And they just happened to all coincide with the same day. So it's been a fun day.
Oh, I probably need to do the grabbing thing again.
Yep. Well, the Doc Ock.
The Doc Ock.
But going back to Contra, you had a question earlier. I apologize, I missed it. I'm coming back to it now. Do you work on modeling of all proteins, stuff that's happening? How is it possible that we unleash the ultimate prion trying to solve the plastics problem? So modeling of all proteins, that's presumably like the folded and the machine learning on protein folding, is that presumably?
Yeah. I guess that's what's being referenced. That's, if I'm understanding what you're asking correctly, I think that's more of like a bioinformatics type of question. Would that be a fair assessment? I wouldn't know how to.
I mean, that's much more of a molecular mechanics Wei Yang type of model.
Oh yes,
right?
yeah, like how like super computational types of yeah. So I'm much more of a, I don't know, I'm like a modeler.
I like the descriptor, the multiscalar modeling. Right?
Yes.
Like across lengths and times. And so I don't know do you know Billy Oates from mechanical engineering?
I don't
So he's a mathematics PhD, but he's in the mechanical engineering department. He applies like the Bayesian statistics and stuff like that, and figuring out, do your models mean something as applied to materials? And so he does like force models and stuff with mechanics. I've collaborated with Billy a bunch, which is fun. You'll have to run, press the Y button.
Oh, right, that's right. I was like, why am I going so slow? I have my star. Oh, you can die with the star?
Yep,
Oh.
in the lava.
That's right. You have to run. Maybe this is the hill I'll die on in this game.
Yeah, and that's crazy too. Contra is just the different scales of modeling you have to do. And I give Eugene DePrince a hard time. Do you know Eugene? He's in chemistry department. He does very like fundamental like sub DFT like CS singles and fundamental applications of Schrodinger equation, but it's like, you can do a perfect calculation with the Schrodinger equation, but you can't model all systems because it doesn't incorporate gravity, right? And so like you need different scales to describe different phenomena, and it's disingenuous to pretend otherwise. Like you can't describe all of it with fundamental equations.
Right. That's right. So yeah, this stuff about multi-scale modeling, like just to give a concrete example, you can think about neuron length sensing. So this is one of the first projects I ever worked on, was how a neuron senses the length of its axon, because it's like, I mean, there's nothing that's telling it, hey, that your axon is like a meter long or a micron long. And in your body, actually, neurons, the axons of neurons range from a micron to a meter in length. So it's like there has to be some sort of a self-consistent way to measure it, or to sense
Y
it.
button, go.
But how can we, how does it do it? And so you can actually I helped develop a model that accounts for like how the length of an axon is responsible for an oscillation in in some chemical signal, and then that chemical signal acts as a transcription factor to induce protein production. So you can already sort of see scales here emerging. You have molecular motors that are moving up and down an axon. That's sort of the way that's a proxy for how they're getting information about how big they are. But then you have to couple that to gene expression, and then how does a cell then sense the amount of protein that's being produced, and how does it decode that and infer a length from that? And so it's kind of a multi-scale type of situation.
So Mildly related. Alan Turing's paper on biomorphogenesis.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, that's
What a gangster that guy was.
yeah.
He's just like, also, here's one of the most profound papers in all of biology, just as a side note. You want to explain that paper to the general audience? I don't know how familiar you are with it, but
Yeah, so it's cool.
Alan Turing broke the Enigma code,
Yep.
father of modern computing.
For sure.
Also, just a biology side project.
Yeah, also a biology side project. I'm going
That's
to
been
fundamentally
cited 8,000 times.
Yeah, I'm going to fundamentally change how you understand diffusion. So it's great that you brought it up, because I sort of went on my soliloquy about diffusion, and Alan Turing had this amazing insight for how patterns can arise in biological phenomena. I have to jump off that thing.
The Y button.
The Y button.
Speed. Yeah. Get some speed.
It's gonna be the end of me.
On the plus side, you have infinite lives.
Infinite lives. Okay. So his idea was so I think there was a lot of study into how, like, you can use networks of chemicals that activate and inhibit one another to generate proteins, generate patterns, not proteins, to generate patterns, and it just wasn't happening in these spatial systems. But then Turing had this brilliant idea of saying, well, what if you account for a diffusion of these? And people were like, why would you account for diffusion? Like, patterns are like spatially localized things.
Yeah, they're
like,
static, right?
They're static, but diffusion smooths things out. If you think about diffusion, if you have like a large amount of chemical in the center of a room, what happens if it's just diffusing is, it's how do you call it? It's dissipating and flattening out. The concentration profile is flattening out. But Alan Turing had this beautiful insight that said that if you have an activator inhibitor sort of network in a spatial system where you have short range activation, so that you can think of it as the diffusion rate of an activating chemical is small, and then you have long range inhibition. So the diffusion of inhibitor is very large. You can generate these patterns, and they're now called Turing patterns. And it also blows my mind. It just blows my mind that who would have thought, hey, let's just throw diffusion. And then that's going to solve all the problems.
And this is the guy that invented the modern computer. As
computer.
a side project, he's like, patterns are cool.
Yeah. So
if you guys are interested, there's the link in chat to the original paper. It's the title of it is Chemical Basis of Morphogenesis. Single author, Alan Turing, wrote this. When was this published? 1951.
50s. Yeah. 51.
Note that he died in 1942. He died and/or killed himself in 1942, when he was 42 years old. So all this happened before he was 40.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
So there was this movie that came out maybe 10 years ago, Imitation Game.
Yeah, you've seen the movie?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Man, I love that movie.
I love that movie too. I'm not much of a crier, but that movie made me cry at the end.
Oh my god! And they didn't cover biomorphogenesis. So.
They didn't. But what's interesting? So the reason why I brought that movie up is if you watch that movie, and it's at the end where he's sort of on the chemical whatever they're giving him.
Yeah.
If you look at the pictures that are in the background of his house, it's like pictures of animals with patterns and stuff. So it's like,
I did not notice that. I'm so upset with myself.
So it's
Holy
like
shit.
So it's like
that was a shout out to that that contribution.
Yeah.
Like, for those of you not familiar, he added diffusion to these oscillation equations, right? And there's all sorts of chemical reactions that oscillate between equilibrium positions. And if you associate that with a color change, you can turn red to blue. And so you can oscillate that over time, but you can also oscillate it over space if you add diffusion. And if you oscillate it over space, all of a sudden you have a cheetah stripe, or you have a cow patterning, and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I mean, I guess this has been used to model like cell differentiation and propagation of different cell types and things like that.
Yep.
Like it really described these non-symmetric emergent phenomena, and it was just Alan Turing thinking about shit.
Yeah.
It's absolutely profound. I talk about this in my Gen Chem class, actually, because I mean, adding diffusion to an equilibrium condition it changes everything, and it's just absolutely profound. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen The Imitation Game, absolutely amazing movie. I don't know how accurate it was, because by all accounts, he was a charismatic individual. People liked him. I learned recently, actually, he qualified for the Olympics in the marathon.
Yeah, that's right. And for marathon, they also have a nod to that in the movie. They have
all his running. Apparently, he had ran from what was the where they were in the coding. He ran from there to London, which was like 40 miles.
Yeah,
that's just for fun.
It's like
holy crap. But anyone not familiar with the story, contra the sad face is appropriate. Alan Turing, brilliant individual, cracked the Enigma code, made some of the first like electronic computers, also made some of the first video games. He wrote a chess program that he had to execute in his head, because the computers weren't there yet. So he would like do a move and then execute the algorithm. Do the counter move. On top of that, biomorphogenesis, as well as many amazing contributions, but also was tried and convicted of being a homosexual in England in the 1950s. And so part of that, the consequence of that was either go to prison or do chemical castration. And so he chose chemical castration because he still wanted to work on his computers. And ultimately that damaged him to the point where at some point he, I guess the story goes, he was working with cyanide, but he also had an apple, and he may have tainted his own apple with cyanide and may have killed himself or may not. It's not entirely clear, I guess. So yeah, super tragic loss of one of the most brilliant minds of the 1900s. On that note, it's a downer, right? What if we got 30 more years of Alan Turing?
Oh man,
like, what do we get out of that?
Yeah, I mean,
do you think he committed suicide, or do you think it was an accident? What's your guess?
My guess is suicide.
If you lost your ability to think when you're that brilliant of an individual, I couldn't see any other consequence. And I mean, as morbid as this is, I really like the elegance of biting from the apple of knowledge that's poisoned with cyanide, because that was him, right?
Yeah,
like, that's poetic.
It's fair.
But yeah. Check out the paper.
You know, England, whatever, the UK did pardon him like 5 years ago.
Years after his death, like, no, Alan, we're good. We're cool, right?
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth did pardon Alan Turing. Sure, you solved the Enigma code, but you like to kiss dudes, so fuck you, is what happened, which is crazy. Anyway. He and Hofstadter together? Hofstadter, I don't know Hofstadter's story. Did he?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hofstadter's story. Nope.
Man, that's crazy. Sorry to go to a downer note, but holy crap, what a contribution. I'm glad we got to talk about that paper, because it's an underappreciated contribution of Alan Turing.
For sure, yeah. That was my first introduction to Alan Turing. I didn't know him about all this computer stuff. I was like, wow, he's like a really great biomathematician. And then, all these scientific computing people, they're just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. That you invented a computer.
And I was like, what?
That is amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, so this has been applied to like stem cells and signaling and all sorts of recent stuff.
All sorts of things. So Monica Herdal, do you know Monica? So she's a senior mathematician in our department. So she uses Turing models, these Turing patterns as a model for folding patterns in brains.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so there's also an application there.
It's like the fissures in brain formation.
Right.
Wow.
Like the folding and stuff like that. So it's... Oh, I forgot about that time signal.
No pressure. Speaking of which, we're at 9:37. Do you want to play something else?
Yeah, let's change.
We could do Sonic, Super Tennis, Tetris. Tennis, we should probably play some tennis.
Let's play some tennis, yeah.
All right, let's do it.
So part of my life growing up, a huge part of my life is, not a huge part of my life, but I really enjoy tennis. Do
you still play?
I play when I have the chance, whenever it's like someone offers to play, and there is a neuroscience biology professor, Doug Storis, who has offered to play with me. I haven't played with him yet, but
the tennis court's pretty close.
Yeah, it's true. It's very close. I should just.
Are you in IMB? Where are you located?
Yeah, I have an office in IMB, and then I also have an office in the Love Building.
So do you play table tennis?
How did you know about that? Yeah.
Well, there's a
Yeah,
ping
yeah.
pong table in the basement of IMB.
Yeah.
Way keeps telling me about it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
play.
He needs to. Yeah, it's a secret. It's supposed to be a secret, but
Oh,
but
sorry.
yeah,
Sorry, YouTube. I'll
yeah.
cut that out.
No. Yeah, but yeah. I actually really like ping pong.
Have you played with Wei?
I have played with Wei. Not like I haven't played a game against him.
Are you
But
better than him?
I think when I first hit with him, I realized that he was like way better than me. But since then, I think I've improved a lot. And like a lot of mathematicians play there now. Quite.
What, do you guys have a set time?
Yeah.
I want to join.
It's like, yeah, okay, please. Friday morning. Friday morning.
I've never been to the table. I've never seen it. It's nice? Like there's room, there's
There is room, but there's like a gigantic pillar in the way, so it is a hazard. Like
Okay.
if you're really into it, you could just like face plant into. And I think a couple of weeks ago we had a professor who like kind of hurt themselves, but we're just like whatever.
I look forward to the Tallahassee Democrat story. Professor tragically dies in basement of IMB.
I mean, the basement, you're just like, there's got to be like some sort of poisoning here that like, I don't know, it's a very shady looking area.
Do you guys play every Friday?
Yeah, some subset of us will play every Friday.
Oh my God.
I think.
Can I crash that? I'm serious.
I think so. I think you can come. I think we would welcome.
That's awesome.
We are pretty serious. Are you a very good?
Oh yeah. No, I got accused of being European many times.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, you should definitely come then.
No, I own my own paddle.
Okay,
I've spent
okay.
some money on a paddle.
Oh, you're one of those. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna put spin on it. There's no games here.
Oh yeah. Okay. Then I should also let you know that the math department is going to have a ping pong tournament sometime this semester.
Oh.
Yeah. So you should definitely.
That's awesome. Wei has invited me many times, but I've never gone there. I really want to do it. Contra, I bet you own your own paddle. Absolutely. It was actually a gift. My group for my tenure, granted tenure, my students got me a ping pong paddle, which is kind of fun. No, they got me a gift card because they knew they shouldn't pick out my paddle for me.
Oh, interesting.
Because there's a difference if you do offensive versus defensive gameplay. No, I took it pretty seriously. My wife and I actually met playing ping pong,
Oh wow,
which is kind of fun.
that's a cool story.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, what a weird way to meet in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota.
Is that where you're from?
Yep. Yeah. All right, we should do another prediction because time's been flying. What time do you guess it is right now without looking at the clock?
I think you told me pretty recently it was like 9:30, so I'm gonna get like 9:35.
Yeah, we're at 9:40 right now.
Okay.
So hour and 40 minutes of gameplay. How's it going?
This is actually going by way faster. I was actually really nervous.
3 hours is a lot of time, but like, remember back in the day when you'd sit there for 12 hours to play video games?
Yeah, I remember several times my mom being like, "Dude, you've been playing for like 2 hours. Like, let me watch my TV show, and or let me watch my movie." And I'm like, "Really? It's been 2 hours?"
Like, just pause it. I'm like, you can't pause it. You can't save. There's no saving in these games. You just leave it on overnight. All right, let's do another prediction because we have not done enough of these. We're going to throw one up right now. This one's just a fun one. I really like that you have this one included.
Yeah.
Because this one could go either way, and I don't know the answer to this.
And there's no way you can look this one up. Well, actually, okay.
I was going to say, there's some kind of... All right, we're going to do a prediction. If you guys aren't following us, click the follow button right now. One, it helps our numbers and visibility with other streamers and things like that. But two, it gives you standard internet units that you can gamble on predictions. It is time for a prediction. So Bhargav has an academic lineage, which is basically he got his PhD from someone that got a PhD, that from someone that got a PhD. And so we have these academic trees that are pretty amazing, and we can track these back to our descendants. And the question is, what is his academic descendant? Is it Albert Einstein or Isaac Newton? How do they search for this one? They could, but don't. It's academic honor policy. Don't do it. Holy crap, Texan, it's been a while. How's life? Hopefully things are treating you well. Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, we got a mathematician on the stream. From remembering correctly, Texan, you are a economist, if that's correct. D, none of the above. It's Dr. Seuss. Is Dr. Seuss your academic lineage?
Dr. Seuss.
Or green eggs and ham, is that related?
But potentially, I don't know. Like you never know how these networks are surprisingly big, right?
They are convoluted. Man, I love this question. So is there I don't want to give away too much, but is there like a math academic tree?
There is, and I don't know, maybe I'll go into that whenever the what is this thing? What is this called?
Prediction.
Prediction. Yeah. Whenever this prediction is done, I'll reveal how you can study or not study, but like determine.
Mathematics genealogy project.
That's it. Yep. Okay, so that's the answer. So you just keep going backwards. You keep clicking.
Oh, you click on the names and it just takes you back.
It just keeps taking you back.
Holy crap! Who created this?
Is it Courant or Columbia? Like, it's one of those. No, the NDSU department. So North Dakota, maybe it's North Dakota State. Yeah.
Yeah, that's NDSU. Yeah. Cool. All right, so Bhargav, what's the answer? Who's your academic great whatever grandfather?
It is Isaac Newton.
Isaac Newton. 90% said yes on Isaac Newton, or at least 90% betting towards Isaac Newton. Obviously, you look like Isaac Newton. That was the choice.
Did the hair give it away?
It's obviously not Einstein. I'll give you that. That's pretty amazing. So there's the link to the math genealogy. Holy shit! You go back to Isaac Newton.
Yeah. So the idea is so there's this huge database of like everyone who's gotten a math PhD, and you can track who your advisor's advisor is and who their advisor is and their advisor is. And I think I just went back far enough along the tree, and then I found Isaac Newton, and I was like, whoa.
So I'm sorry to be mildly belittling, but that interface looks like shit.
Oh, yeah.
So there's one in chemistry. Let me show you this briefly. Actually, I'll show you all you guys. I'll put it up on, so we can put it in browser. There we go. So here is my academic tree.
Oh, wow.
So chemistry has a really nice, elegant one. It shows your branching. You can go back in time. So like, yeah, some really fun ones on here. I think Niels Bohr's on here. Fritz Haber, who's Haber-Bosch process, father of modern chemical warfare.
Haber-Bosch, okay, yep.
Yeah, Oswald Reipelin, yep. Crystal growth. Yeah, just a lot of super famous names on that.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I was going to ask. Oh, Erlenmeyer.
Erlenmeyer. Yeah, the flask. Exactly.
Wow. So many Erlenmeyers. Okay.
Yeah. Great grandpa Erlenmeyer. Nernst equation, electrochemistry.
Nernst equation.
Yeah. But you guys need an interface like this. Like, I really like looking at it this way.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, we're definitely more minimalist.
So you just kept clicking back until it got to Newton.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, that's Newton.
Oh, Niels Bohr is on mine too, which is kind of fun.
Niels Bohr?
Linus Pauling.
Oh, Linus Pauling. He's my favorite scientist.
Oh, man.
Linus Pauling. So my undergrad, I did it in biochemistry, actually.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I read a lot about Linus Pauling. He's definitely my favorite scientist. Definitely look up to him.
But Isaac Newton is another level. That's amazing.
So I always grew up, and I was, the whole calculus controversy, Leibniz or Newton. I was when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, Leibniz must be the better option, and I always just thought Newton was just like an asshole.
Yeah, he was the light bulb Thomas Edison of the mathematics, right?
That's what it seems like. But like, I read this biography by James Gleick on Isaac Newton, and it really like paints a picture, and you're just like, holy cow, this guy went through a lot of just crap growing up. Like, his mom abandoned him, and like he's just growing up in a village by himself. So he's just like, I don't know how to function as a human being. But he was brilliant. He would just spend hours. There was some, I think, anecdote in that biography about like how he stared at a shadow on his cabin for like a day.
That sounds right.
And and then he was just like, aha, the Earth's orbit is elliptical, not circular, or something. And it's just like, cool. Like, how did you cut what? But like, so he was a very interesting guy. One thing I did not know about him was that, he grew up in, he was born on an island, right? It's a big island, but he was on an island. Mm-hmm. But he never saw the ocean.
I did not know that. Holy shit.
So he's, we think we're introverted and and loners. This guy took it to a level that, that was kind of unbelievable.
I mean, but I don't know if the book captures this, but there's also anecdotes about him being, a virgin the day he died because he didn't want to have interpersonal relationships.
That's
weird
true.
stuff like
That's
he wanted
true.
to figure out vision by poking a needle in his eye.
Yep.
Like, he was a weird dude.
He was a weird dude.
Brilliant, but weird dude.
His hair was real. It was not a wig. He apparently never got a haircut.
Wow.
And so people, there's like people doing like, oh, there's Isaac Newton. He's just sitting on a bench brushing his hair, and whatever he's thinking about. So he's fascinating guy.
He's like most grandpas, right?
Yeah.
A little bit crazy, but you still respect him.
Yeah.
He had contributions.
Yeah, but he was, definitely one of the most brilliant. Like, how can a person like this exist?
That's something to wrestle with. Like, how much of it was he's brilliant? Obviously, he's a brilliant individual, but the combination of just like the right circumstance, the right set of expertise to just explore an unknown space. Mm-hmm. Like, I wrestle with that. Same thing with Alan Turing, right? Like, there's probably, 50 to 100 Alan Turings existing right now. But if you're born into poverty, if you're not in the right circumstance, if you're not lucky, do you discover things? I don't know. I wrestle with that a lot.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Newton. If I remember the biography correctly, like, he didn't even have enough money to go to university. Like, he was like someone's note taker.
Yeah.
And he was just like the person he was taking notes for. I think Isaac Barrow was his name, or maybe Isaac Barrow was his professor.
It was completely forgotten in the annals of history.
He was like, all right, let's this guy seems pretty smart, let's work with him. And then he just went from there, I guess.
All right, science and science lineage aside, how's the gameplay going? How are you feeling about Super Tennis?
Oh, this game always kicked my ass, and like it's still doing the same. Like, I just cannot win a match, I can't win a match. It's just like, man. I think like when I was growing up, like, I would get very frustrated with this game because I couldn't win, and I think like my dad tried to like win a match for me. He was like, "I'll win a match for you," and I think he also couldn't. And then I think he was like, "I'm never playing video games again." So it's like,
game broken.
So
this was it.
It's like, oh man, like in this game, like, and there's no like obvious. I'm sure there's like some super player out there who's like, "Oh yeah, you're just not playing the game right." But like, it's. Yeah, I'm getting the same feeling as I was when I was 8 years old or whatever, 6 years old.
I mean, that's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Let's do the nostalgia trip. We should probably bust out tennis from the Nintendo Entertainment System just for fun.
Okay.
A Racket Attack, that's one of the classic ones. Let me see what else I have. Tennis was one of the simple ones. Because I think tennis was one of the original NES sports games. I don't even remember that said like soccer and football and all those. Like, yeah, they're there.
I remember soccer. Yeah.
He picked a hell of a game to retire on. Cuddle Puppy, I retired on the game of love. Jeez, dark twist. We're talking tennis here, Cuddle Puppy. Too serious. We already went down the Turing rabbit hole. We don't need to dive down again. Oh, man. Contra has a quote here, a really long one. Sorry, I'll have to try to read this while semi-sober. William Stuckley said he only witnessed one laugh from the genius. It came about because Isaac had loaned an acquaintance a copy of Euclid and later asked them their thoughts on the book. The friend responded by asking why studying such a thing would ever be of any help to them, upon which William Stuckley, in a letter to Richard Mead, said, Sir Isaac was very merry. That's the account of Isaac smiling. Man,
It's funny.
what a weird dude. So the biography had all the ups and downs, all the
Yeah.
oddities, and
Yeah, I mean, and by the end, I actually gained more respect for Newton, and like I was like, okay, maybe this guy. I mean, he was total douchebag asshole. Do you know the story about him and Robert Hooke?
no, not the details.
So Robert Hooke, Hooke's law,
Yeah,
right? So he,
springs and oscillations. Yeah,
yep. So he and Newton had a very great rivalry on different, like, a scientific ideas of rivalry. They just couldn't agree on anything. And so when Newton became like member of the, what is it, the Royal Society? Was it the Royal Society?
Yeah, Royal Society.
Royal
Yeah.
Society, and I think like the treasurer, or what, like he became some hotshot treasurer. And then he was like, all right, burn every portrait of Robert Hooke. And so there's no portrait of Robert Hooke.
Holy shit! Wow, that's like literal burnt bridges. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and it was also after Hooke died, so like no one was able to get like a new portrait of him. So like the only ones available online are like kind of just based on descriptions and things like that. So
That's amazing. Newton, get erased. Fuck you, Hook.
he was canceling people
Oh
before
man,
before canceling.
it was popular. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Oh,
He was like, I don't need Twitter to cancel anyone. I'm just gonna burn all the pictures.
I am Ham Gaming. Before I depart for the night, I would like to impart the best quote I've ever heard from Bhargav. Math, my dear boy, is none other than the lesbian sister of biology, Peter Griffin. Do you have any insights on said quote?
Oh man, actually, Peter, Family Guy. I've not heard that actually from Family. I've seen several Family Guy episodes, but not.
Not that particular quote.
I don't even know what that would mean.
The lesbian sister. I don't think we want to touch this one in terms of going into the nuance of that.
No,
but
let's.
it's one of those like physics is just applied mathematics, and chemistry is just applied physics.
Yeah.
It's something like that, right? Oh man.
I have no, like, I don't know.
No comment.
I'm trying to cogitate it and trying to analyze, but I can't. The one I know is from Gauss that says mathematics is the queen of the sciences. So that's a good one.
Cuddle puppy. You do realize that calling your field biomathematics is going to attract cyberpunk weirdos. Are you familiar with cyberpunk? This
No.
body modification and futurism and integrating technology plus biology kind of thing. Biomathematics. That's fun.
I think the other term is mathematical biology. Is that better?
Yeah, we'll call that.
I think the difference is mathematical biology, they're like, oh, you're a biologist who like uses mathematics, and a biomathematician is like biologically inspired mathematics. I don't know. Weird nuances. These are very strange comments. I'm coming.
It's the opener, man. It's getting late at night. The weirdos are coming out. Speaking of which, Jungle wants to know, what is Bhargav's favorite video game of all time? Bhargav's, sorry.
No worries, yeah.
Favorite video game of all time.
Super Smash Brothers.
Super Smash. That's
like, I don't even have
the
to think
ultimate,
about
the new one, or the original?
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. That's okay. Is that a
We
hard
got to
question?
differentiate.
Okay, let's differentiate.
Do you want to play the original? Because we can bust that out too.
Not the original, but I think the one for GameCube was maybe my favorite. That was Melee, Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Man, do you want to play Melee?
Yeah, if that's possible.
I could play some Melee. Let me set you up. Let's do some original tennis for the Nintendo if you're up for giving that a try.
Yeah. Probably Melee was my favorite, and then like the GameCube controller was also like
Let me see if I can find Melee.
super. It was just designed to be great for Super Smash Brothers. So I think that was my
That was
favorite.
GameCube, right?
GameCube, yeah.
Oh man, I do have a GameCube emulator. What did I use?
Oh, start. Gosh.
Yeah, so this is the original tennis for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So we're diving way back in.
Oh gosh, yep.
Let me grab a controller.
Here we go. This is me getting smashed. Yep.
This is everything you hoped it would be.
Ah. This ball is going so slowly.
Suck.
But it's actually tough for me between Melee and Ultimate. Let's see, Melee. Let's see, Melee has a place in my heart because it was like what I vibed with my middle school friends the most. That video game.
The social influence of that.
Yeah, but Ultimate was a game. So I took like a long break from Smash. Like when I was a senior in high school, I think Brawl came out, which was the one for the Wii. That was when I was a senior in high school, and after that, I didn't play for like that was like 2007 or 2008 that it came out, and then I didn't play Smash again until like 2021 when I moved to Tallahassee, and then like my wife and I were bored in our apartment, and so we were like, let's get a Nintendo Switch and play some Super Smash Brothers, and so that's.
Let's see if I can get this open.
So a lot of interesting. There we go. Ooh, and you have a GameCube controller.
Yeah, so that one's a USB controller, so I can bird at that. Oh, let me see. I don't have a hotkey for this one, but there we go.
Wow. Okay.
You ready for this?
Here we go.
That was on the fly. We put that together pretty quick. So, yeah, there you go. Some Super Smash Melee. Oh, I minimized. Get it open. There we go.
All right, so I think this one.
Oh, man. Edit stream info. Super Smash Bros. I have not changed the title on any of this.
Oh, well, oh, okay. Yes, no, the characters are not unlocked. Okay, so I have to choose person that I don't really. Okay, let's see. Let's go with Pikachu. And I want a stock battle.
So, who's your favorite go-to character on this one? Jungle wants to know.
On Melee, it was Marth. So he was one of these Fire Emblem characters. Usually one of the first ones that you unlock. Yeah, he was the character I played with. And so shout out to my friend Joshua Rushing, who I play. I don't think he's on, but if you are, there's a shout out to you. He and I played this game so much, and I mean he was definitely like better than me, but you know I was a good challenge for him. I think, and yeah. Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
You ready for this? Controls are okay?
Yeah.
I haven't assigned the hotkeys. Usually I do some homework ahead of time, but we did this one spontaneously.
Ah. Oh man. Okay.
No worries. No pressure. It's on the spot. Misadventures, welcome back. Sorry I didn't acknowledge you earlier. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you in chat. I appreciate you showing up, asking questions. We're talking biomathematics tonight, modeling complex systems, multi-scale modeling of everything from ant foraging to axon growth to social decision making, talking about how we use fluid dynamics models and not fluid dynamics, sorry,
Diffusion.
diffusion. I should have known that. Sorry, I'm like 3 drinks in, ladies and gentlemen. We're drinking some Doc Ock tonight. So, yeah, diffusion models going through Alan Turing and whatnot. Man, what a fun journey tonight.
Yeah.
We've been all over the place.
Yeah. That's been fun. Yeah.
While playing some Smash, which is pretty fun. Filthy Casuals not having all the fighters unlocked. I don't know if this... So I'm running the Dolphin emulator to run this game. I don't know if it actually saves when you unlock characters or not, because we played Melee before on stream. But I don't know if it's counted.
Oh, this is embarrassing. I'm losing.
I expect to see some wave dashing.
Oh, wave
Is that a
dashing.
move? Who
Yeah.
does that?
I think. Can any character do it? It's like a. Yeah, no, I won't be wave dashing.
Sorry to disappoint. That's amazing. All right, 10 o'clock. We should do another prediction. We learned that Isaac Newton is your great grandfather in academia. What else should we do?
We can.
Oh man, we missed the tennis questions. We should have done that
While we're on tennis, yeah. So we can do either.
Oh, let's do a shout out to original conversation about the path that led you here.
Oh yeah, okay, let's do that.
Also, Misadventures has demanded we take a drink, so.
Oh, I have.
You want some more?
Yes, please.
All right, let's do it. You want ice?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right, Misadventures, cheers. Thank you for redeeming Take a Drink. We will gladly do so. We're drinking some Dr. Pepper Zero, and I had some crack into mine, so we're doing some rum and Dr. Pepper, which is known as a Doc Ock, is what I learned tonight, actually. So hopefully you guys have a drink in hand. It's a Wednesday night. Sure, it's a school night. You teach tomorrow?
I do.
What time?
9:45.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not 8 a.m.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's good. Yeah. Oh, and if any student, I don't know if I did share the link with my linear algebra students. So if anyone is watching, here's a chance for some extra credit.
Oh wow, let's do this.
Just I don't know, tomorrow in class, come up to me, don't even say any context, no context. Just tell me the name of your favorite author, and I'll write you down for 5 points on, let's say, your upcoming exam.
Wow. Favorite author.
Yeah.
You could have made it much more subtle than that, like your favorite Smash character. or like academic lineage, you could have used that. Were they paying attention?
Oh, that's true.
Did they actually gain insights?
Yeah.
Cuddle Puppy, Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand.
You can't give credit for that.
So, okay, yeah, that's -5 points. That's come on, man.
Dr. Seuss, acceptable. Apparently today is Dr. Seuss's birthday. I don't know if that's true or not.
Is it really?
My daughter's had a wacky Wednesday at school at daycare.
Oh, I think my son's daycare also mentioned something about having a Dr. Seuss reading.
Dr. Seuss birthday? March 2nd, 1904. So not quite today, but pretty close.
The 5th, right?
March 5th, yeah. March 2nd was Dr. Seuss's birthday. So, Texan, I'm going to accept your answer way more than Ayn Rand. Texan, are we not entitled to the sweat of our brow and the strength of our back? Man, counterpoint is Arnold Schwarzenegger's... did you see his commencement speech where he talked about there's no such thing as a self-made man?
No.
It's pretty spectacular, but it's him talking about how, I mean, his success was built on the backs of others. Like, the number of people that helped him is just incalculable. And same with, despite Elon Musk's best effort to present this character of, self-made millionaire, he grew up rich, he bought a bunch of companies, he built it on the backs of others, and it's disingenuous to present anything otherwise. So, yeah, shout out to Arnold Schwarzenegger. This stream is anti-dog eat dog.
Anti-dog.
Yes. Oh man, is that too political? Kind of funny because Arnold is about as close to self-made man as ever existed, and that's the irony of it, right? It's the people that came from nothing that acknowledge how much help they got along the way.
Right.
And it's the people born on third that think they hit a home run, right? That think they were self-made, and it's just kind of the nature of the beast, right?
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I think about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm just like, what that guy did.
Holy shit.
I mean, can you imagine doing that? Going to a country where you don't even speak the language, and then becoming famous for first thing you do, I'm going to become famous for lifting weights. And it's I do lift weights actually, but you know how many people care that I lift weights? it's not maybe zero. They're like, okay, great, man.
What I love about Arnold is how many terrible movies he's made, but also excellent ones.
Yeah.
And it's just from Jingle all the way to What's some of the other early ones he did? Can't think of them off the like Hercules was one of the early ones, right?
Right. Yeah.
Turbo Man, but also he's made Terminator. So,
Terminator.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Terminator. Pretty amazing.
Last Action Hero. Don't say anything bad about Last Action Hero. That movie is iconic, and I refuse to hear otherwise. I care. You should lift more. Thank you, Texan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
When I hit the gym Friday morning,
Yeah,
I'll keep that in mind.
That's gonna stick with you. Do you go to the on-campus gym?
I don't know.
Oh man.
I go to a gym closer to Costco. It's called D1 Training.
Nice.
Oh, coach, if you're watching, there's your shout out to D1 Training. So I have a coach. It's like a class gym, but you know, they take you through like warm ups and.
I mean, it's good. It keeps you on a schedule. It keeps you on a routine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, it's been good for me. I've enjoyed it.
Texans follow up, bro. I know 5 fat people, and you're 4 of them. Oh,
Why are you being?
that's a math problem for you.
Don't be so mean.
We talked about large numbers. You are incalculably fat. 10 to the 23rd be damned. Wow. What is this blue Bowser nonsense? Who is this?
It's Bowser, but you can like choose your own color.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that. That's fun. I know 5 fat people and you're 4 of them. Oh, your mama jokes are coming back. That's amazing. First time chat from Kipo. Hey guys, is it normal that I'm sorry, let me go back to this one. I'm not managing to follow the channel. I'm unfollowing after a few seconds. Am I the only one? I don't know. That's crazy. Click the follow button. Click it a bunch. Anyone, if you're not following, please follow us. That's amazing. Hypatia Pan, thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining us. You'll get notifications about streams. We only stream once every 2 weeks, which is crazy. So after 5 years of doing this, you are our 98th guest.
Wow.
So congratulations.
I was almost the 100th one. Are you doing something special for the 100th?
I thought about it. I don't know what to do that's special. So it's going to be Francis Ashwan from biology.
Oh wow! Yeah, I know him.
This will be our 100th.
He's a good friend of mine.
Any suggestions?
For him?
Yeah.
Oh,
for the 100th guest.
Oh, let's see.
What do you do that's special for that stream? I don't even know.
I don't know. Maybe y'all can like. And I bet Ashwin would actually be into this if you like, I don't know, do some sort of a dance, like and post it like.
Wait, I have to do the dance, or make him do the dance?
Yeah, he's also of Indian origin. Like I don't know, do a Bollywood dance, and then like.
Should I give him the heads up? He's going to be required to do a 100th anniversary.
I'm sure he would totally be into it.
For the 100th guest, invite your VIP viewers into voice chat so they can bark at you. Oh man, that'd be interesting. Invite Cuddle Puppy, join me on Discord so we can, dump on Francis. One thing I will say is May 7th, you should mark the calendar because I'm going to send out an invite to all Ask a Scientist guests. Or we're going to do a party actually.
Oh wow.
Invite in person, open bar, hang out, chat.
Here?
That should be pretty fun. No, it won't be here. We're probably going to do it at Amicus Brewery. I don't know if you've ever been there before, but it's a really nice space. But yeah, we're going to rent out the whole place Wednesday, May 7th.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll get an email in the future, but it'll be really fun.
That's a place in Midtown?
It's next to Cascades Park.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
It's got like this outdoor space.
Yeah.
Indoor bar.
Yeah,
They brew their own.
Yes.
Whatever. I don't know what brand they brew, but yeah. So yeah, it's been 5 years of Ask a Scientist gaming, and then in person it's been 10 years. I don't know if you've done that before, but David Collins runs an in-person at First Friday.
Oh, really?
And so yeah, it's just 5 people show up, drink alcohol, and talk with the general public. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, a couple anniversaries coming up. So yeah, that's pretty fun. Misadventures, Turbo Man, thank you for the reminder. Kipo, hopefully you're able to follow us. If not, I don't know how to fix that, so I apologize. All right, so we did. We should do another prediction. We did academic lineage. We talked about it a while ago. We're at 10:15 right now.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy. Time flies.
It's just flying, yeah.
Let's do this one, because this is a shout out to your original conversation about your pathway to being where we are today. Anyone that's stuck with us for 2 hours and 15 minutes, you will know the answer to the question. The rest of you are going to have to guess based on, I don't know, Smash gameplay. I don't know what would give you insights to this
I don't think I actually mentioned it, because I had in my mind, sort of my mind's eye, that we might ask this question. So I don't think I actually gave away the answer to this. Maybe I did.
I mean, I think you gave your original interest, but
Yeah.
we will not reveal too much. But we have the question up right now. Bhargav began an undergrad as an astronomy major or psychology major. Ultimately, he converged on mathematics and applied mathematics. But before that, he had dreams of being something else. Was it a psychologist or an astronomer? So put your predictions in there now. I don't think there's anywhere on the internet they could search for this answer.
No.
ChatGPT is not helping you with this one. You are on your own. I thought you said biochem. Ooh, Texan. It's one of these two, psychology or astronomy. This is talking about going into undergrad, right?
Going into undergrad, yeah.
Okay.
I did get a biochem degree along with my math degree. In fact, my math degree was the last thing I picked up in my undergrad.
Oh, Jungle, don't put your comment in there. Click on that predict button at the top of chat and use your standard internet unit that you just got from following us. Headless Kitty, awesome name. Astronomer, foundation by Asimov. Maybe, we don't know. We're going to figure out what this answer was when he was like 18 years old and converging on a major. Was it astronomy? Was it psychology? We don't know. Headless, if you're not following, click follow. You get a bunch of standard internet units that you can gamble on this question. Also, you'll get notifications about future streams.
But Foundation by Asimov is a great sequence of books.
Oh, man.
Have you read them?
Texan says none of the above. Astrology major. Were you an astrology major? You can say it. Let's say it.
I was not an astrology major. No. I don't think it was offered, actually.
Contra gastrology, reading horoscopes through from tummy rumbles. What the hell? Oh. Headless Kitty, make sure I listen in class. All right, Bhargav, what's the answer? What were you? Going into undergrad, what was your choice?
I was a psychology major.
Psychology major. 22% said psychology major. Congratulations on your roughly 4.5 to 1 payoff. So psychology, what drove you to that and what drove you away from that?
So my dad's dad, so my paternal grandfather, was a professor in India of psychology, and he's quite renowned actually as a psychology professor. And he actually traveled by ship to like London, and I think he like taught was a visiting professor in like Oxford or Cambridge for a bit, and then he came to the U.S. and lectured around the U.S. for a few years. I think he had a position at the Colorado School of Mines.
Oh, wow.
But he was a psychology professor, and I don't know, I guess the professor gene like skipped a generation, because my dad is not a professor, he's an engineer. So I was like, oh yeah, I can follow in my grandfather's footsteps and be a psychology professor. It seems to make sense, and psychology is interesting, right? Like but I don't know. The classes were just I think studying psychology on its own separately is kind of interesting. Trying to take a class kind of was not my thing. Like being told, I don't know, just like, and like the statistics they were showing, I was just like not happy with the softness of the science in some sense. But
so what was the threshold? What was your turning point where it's like, no, I'm done?
Actually, I wasn't.
You can name people too.
Oh no,
one particular professor.
I didn't actually take that many. I didn't like go that far as a psychology professor. It was like, I think like like lecture, like maybe like the first week I was just like, I'm not cut out for this stuff. And like I did all the AP classes things, so like my first semester I was taking already like 3,000 level classes, and I was just like, not for me. And so I immediately switched to like calculus 3 and organic chemistry and stuff like that. So thereafter I switched to a biochem degree, where there was a lot of equation memorization and stuff like that. I don't know. I was just trying to find I guess a subject where like things were well motivated, well developed. You know, you could really see things being built up, and you know, biochemistry is awesome, but they didn't really offer that. So actually, I was like an engineering major for a semester, but it was like more of the same for me there in the University of Oklahoma. I had it was just a lot of equation memorizing. I didn't like that, so I decided, okay, maybe let's do a math major and combine it with a biochemistry major. So like even though like in biochem I'm not seeing the math in the classes or in the texts or anything, like I can use math as a way to approach and think about some of the problems in biochemistry, and that's sort of what started me on my path.
Contra's comment, from softness to smoothness.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an elegance to mathematics, and so I review papers regularly, right? Just like that's part of the peer review process. And one of the things that drives me nuts is when somebody writes that their experiment proves something, and my counterpoint, and I have a copy and paste response, is proof is limited to philosophy and mathematics where the axioms are known, right? That's the only way you can prove something. In the sciences, we don't know the axioms. That's what we're trying to discover. So you don't get to prove anything. You get to disprove things.
Right. Yeah. That's fair.
Like there's an elegance to mathematics because it is a pure field, right? I mean,
right.
Going back to our pure mathematics.
Yeah. I mean, one of the cool things that I heard was that, you know, mathematics is absolutely true, which is kind of an amazing thing, because like if you think about it, you're like, how many things can I actually say that about? That like some statement is absolutely true, like even in like, I don't know,
anything,
like right,
literally
like
anything,
even like Gen Chem, I don't know, the plum pudding model. There's like a plum pudding model, and then you're like, electrons are in these nice little rings, and then like it just never stops. They're just like, well, actually, that's not true.
Yeah,
because now you have these orbitals,
right within a certain approximation, but not absolutely true. Yeah.
Whereas in pure math, it's like if you prove a theorem, it's like you state all your assumptions and everything, and if you assume the correct things, this is absolutely true, and there's no two ways about it, which is kind of an amazing thing.
Well, that's what I love about it, is like you can't argue with the conclusion. All you can argue with is the axioms.
The axioms,
right? And that's fair game, but like within the system that you've defined, there's no fighting against that. Diego P, thank you for the subscription. Thank you for, you're subscribing. We appreciate the Prime subscription. Jeff Bezos just wrote us a check for about $2 to pay for our alcohol, which is amazing. If you guys have a Prime subscription, you can attach that to Twitch and use it, because you get one free Prime subscription per month. We don't need the money, but we appreciate it. It helps us pay for drinks and video games and all sorts of stuff to help facilitate our hobby. So yeah, Diego, thank you again for the Prime subscription. If you have a question, throw it in chat. We would love to hear more from you. Contra, this statement is false. Damn it. We don't need that. It's too late for that nonsense.
Come on, man. Oftentimes on my final, I'll have like a little short true-false section, and I'll put questions like that, and I'll be like, true or false, this statement is false. And
how dare you? They're tired, they're exhausted, and you're just insult to injury with your nonsense. I feel for your students.
Sometimes I do a lot of weird, I don't know.
Oh no, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at 10:22. I think 10:35. We should probably switch over to NARC. We have
10:35.
What's left? We have, you did Super Tennis, Super Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog is still pending. You want to visit that, or you want to keep playing this? It's up to you. What are you having fun doing?
We can. Should we try Wi-Fi one more time? See if we can get back to Ultimate. You don't think it's going to work?
I don't think so. I think we should have connected out there, and maybe it would have been good enough.
All right.
But yeah, I apologize for that. So keep playing this. We could do Sonic.
Yeah, let's do Sonic.
We can do Tetris too.
Let's do Tetris. Yeah, Tetris is
Tetris.
nice.
We're gonna go back old school.
Let's do Tetris.
All right, let's switch over to Tetris. We're going to close our night out with...
Oh, boy.
Ready for this?
Yep.
All right, I'll get to the... Why that's crashing. Close. Yes. All right, we're jumping back. I don't remember the year on this. 1984 or something like that. They probably said it. Contra, did you see the Tetris movie?
No, I did not. No.
Oh man, it's an over dramatization of political and intellectual intellectual rights debates. Actual Education, thank you for joining us. Thank you for rating with a party of 12. We really appreciate that. I saw SSBS BA for a second there. Yeah, we were playing some Super Smash Brothers. We played Melee. We also played Ultimate. So we got through both of those. Now we're diving into Tetris before diving into our final game of the night, which is NARC. And so, yeah, we'll close the stream with NARC. Actual Education, I hope your stream went well. What were you guys up to tonight? I don't have an auto notification, but if you guys haven't checked out Actual Education, I will send you a link right now. We'll put it in chat. If you're not following, we love educational streamers on Twitch. Not only do we play video games, we also talk about our expertise. We do some tutoring, we do some, outreach to communities, and Actual Education is one of those individuals. And so they're a nonprofit or a nonprofit organization, presumably, that starts to math and science tutoring and things like that. So check out Actual Education and follow. But yeah. N64 is the best Pikachu main here. Actual Education, Pikachu.
Yeah,
Classic.
N64. Yeah, it's a classic.
It's kind of cheating though, right? Overpowered.
Pikachu is definitely overpowered. Also, I think the grab maneuver in the N64 game is like broken. Like I think you can just like. It's just so, like, I don't know. But I actually did not have an N64, so I didn't play that one.
You didn't play much?
I tried a PlayStation when it came out. I think that was the first rendition of the PlayStation.
Actual Education, Kirby is OP too. Yes.
Yes, Kirby is OP. In Melee, the one that I was just playing, the OP character is Fox, who is just, like, so much better than the other characters.
He has the gun too, right? Like the distance attack that was almost unfair. But yeah, anyone just rating us from Actual Education, we are Ask a Scientist Gaming, mediocre gameplay, expert science, our guest tonight. Bhargav Karamched. Right? Karamched, there we go. I don't know why I keep pronouncing that incorrectly, but he's a mathematician, but not just a mathematician. He's an applied mathematician that does biomathematics. He likes to model biological systems with mathematical models, multiscale modeling, things like that. Everything from ant foraging to we talked about axon growth, we talked about social decision making, we talked about a whole bunch of things, but applying mathematical models to biological systems. So he's happy to answer any questions you guys have about biology and math and the intersection of those two things.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Very cool. We have some other streamer friends doing linear algebra courses on Twitch. So you're teaching linear algebra. You did Calc 3, which is multivariable calculus. Yes. What's your favorite to teach?
I really do like Calculus 3 because I like the vector calculus stuff that you do is just like it's just so beautiful, and I feel I enjoy teaching it, but I also feel sad because I feel like students don't get the opportunity to like really appreciate the beauty of the stuff that they're studying. The vector calculus, it's like physics, it's like you're giving a mathematical foundation for a lot of very cool physics, like electrophysics. You're talking about you can prove the conservation of energy, things like that. And I don't know, anytime I teach this stuff and I'm just like, yeah, conservation of energy, and you just get like death stares from students because they're just like this is hard and like Green's theorem and all this stuff.
That's funny you say. Actual Education follows up with vector calc is all the rage this time of year. Also, Green's theorem in vector calculus haunts all the students, or a lot of students.
Yep. Green's theorem, and then Stokes' theorem, and divergence theorem. I mean, they're all. So here's the secret. They're all basically the fundamental theorem of calculus. You're just relating stuff that's happening inside of a domain to something that's happening on the boundary of a domain, and that's what the fundamental theorem of calculus does. It's just, how do you evaluate an integral? It's just you evaluate it at the endpoints and you take the difference. And Green's theorem, divergence theorem, Stokes' theorem, they're all just different renditions of that.
Texan Space Agency, Tom Green? You are the appropriate age to get that joke. Tom Green had a window of existence, and it was not Green's function, that's for sure. It was Freddy got fingered. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Not necessarily. Green's function is a broadly applicable model, right? That's been in a lot of things.
Green's functions, yeah. Actually, in my seminar today, I was talking about Green's functions. Yeah, they're incredibly. I mean, they're incredibly useful. They're basically a formal way of solving any linear differential equation. Right? It's kind of interesting.
So sure, you're a smart math professor, but are you ready to be humbled by Cuddle Puppy? Claims to be a mathematician, but hasn't scored a single Tetris. Oh, ouch. I mean, what do you say to that, right?
You got me.
The 4-line. But you should watch the Tetris movie. It's just kind of fun. Like, how do you dramatize this stupid game from the 1980s? But the answer is you fly to Russia and there's like contentious property rights on who owns Tetris.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, Tetris comes from, I don't remember the Latin word, but it's 4. And the possible ways you can make 4 things into shapes is this game.
I see.
So it did have very foundational mathematical basis to it. But yeah. The barrel roll theorem? I don't know what that is.
The barrel roll theorem?
I mean, do a barrel roll? I've heard that before, but I don't know what the barrel roll theorem is. Huh.
Also,
Rolle's theorem?
Also, there's Rolle's theorem. That's a calculus theorem.
Yeah.
It's basically a version of the mean value theorem.
That's what came up when I searched barrel roll theorem. Tom Green's theorem. God damn it, it's too late for this nonsense. There's Rolle's theorem. I don't know if that counts as barrel roll. That's interesting. Noether's theorem?
Noether's theorem, yeah.
Noether's? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I don't actually know if that's how you pronounce it. So Emmy, actually, I don't know if it's Emmy Noether or her father whose theorem that is. But it's has to do with symmetries and stuff like that. Pretty important theorem from what I understand, but from what I've heard. But I don't know.
Texan has a dumb question. What's a Tetris? Cuddle Puppy said you haven't had scored a Tetris yet. Tetris is when you get 4 lines at once. So the idea is you like build up a space where you can drop one of those 4 bars that's on the screen right now.
Yep.
And if you get 4 lines simultaneously, that's called the Tetris. It's the highest point value thing you can get out of the game. So yeah, which is pretty cool. This game is still actively played by many individuals. They still have Tetris World Championships every single year. And there's this technique. I don't know. Have you heard about this tapping technique?
Mm-mm.
And so if you press a button normally, like your thumb goes down like this, there's only a certain rate that you can push that button, right? Just mechanically limited by your biology. And so what they figured out is you can put your finger on the button and you can roll your fingers underneath and you can get it to push the button from the bottom. So it's like this. So it's like you take the controller and you roll the bottom of it into your thumb and you can press it much faster. And this rolling technique has revolutionized Tetris in the last 10 years, which is kind of crazy. So they've done like record-breaking performances, things like that. But yeah, a little kid finally got the kill screen last year. Yeah, like this 10-year-old kid got a kill screen in Tetris. And it's a super tragic story because the kid's like, his dad died recently, and like this was his coping mechanism, was to play Tetris, and he was the first one to get to a kill screen using this technique, which is pretty cool. So yeah, shout out to that kid. I don't remember his name, but he's legendary for that. Kipo wants to know, do you do research or do you only teach?
I do research as well. In fact, predominantly focus on research, but I do teach also. So yes, I do both, and my research is just to revisit. It's just I develop stochastic models of stochastic and nonlinear dynamic models of biological phenomenon using ordinary differential equations, partial differential equations, and also using stochastic processes. I didn't mention this before. I also use some statistical physics, like lattice models and things like, I don't know, fancy stuff like Doi-Polity formalism. It is statistical physics to try to understand some things. So you can. So we're playing video games, and the way I like to think about it is you can create lattice models for a lot of these spatial systems that you're thinking about, like ants, for example. So a paper I published recently with an undergraduate actually is on ants, foraging ants, and we first treated the movement of ants as particles moving around on a lattice, and then you let that evolve stochastically, and then you can write down what's called a mean field, a master equation for a description that describes an equation that describes the microscopic transitions between the different states that a lattice can have. And then you can take a mean field. Mean field means you're doing some sort of averaging, right? Like you're so if you imagine interaction, so if you're on a lattice and you're a particle on a lattice, you can prescribe rules by which a particle at a particular location interacts with its neighbors. So you can think of it either the 4 neighbors, like up, down, right, left, or the 8 neighbors. So why am I saying this? What am I getting at?
Tetris, man.
What am I trying to say? I totally lost my train of thought. But anyway, based on the rules that you prescribe, you can then derive a master equation, an equation that tells you how the lattice states change in time. Based on different probabilities, like the probability of the lattice being in a particular state at a particular time, and from that you can do what's called a mean field, which means so here's what I'm talking about. So the nearest neighbor interactions, instead of being a random thing for each point for a particle on the lattice, it now thinks that all its neighbors are doing the same thing. So this is what sort of a mean field is like, and then you can make an equation. You can derive an equation, a mean field equation, a partial differential equation, and this is very common, like sort of statistical physics type of research. And so I also do some statistical physics. Actually, my PhD advisor was a string theorist, so that's. I mean, he started doing mathematical neuroscience at some point in his career, but he definitely started off as a string theorist, and actually wrote a book on string theory before he was like, screw this. I'm going to do some mathematical.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. It was just a recognition of the trend and said, nah.
Yeah, like I don't think I can make a career thinking about
13-dimensional math.
Thinking about, and so I actually, as a PhD student, I was like, hey, can you give a talk on string theory? And he was like, no, like I cannot even think about that even for a second more.
I mean, is that debunked, or it's just kind of like not the main trend in thought?
No idea.
No worries. All right, so we're at 10:37. We should probably switch over to NARC. Are you ready for this?
I'm feeling some pressure.
All right, so before you press start, there's a clock on the screen. Do you want to see the clock, or do you not want to see the clock?
God.
It's up to you. I can move it over here. It's on the screen. The audience can see it either way.
Oh man, this is so much fun. Yeah, Let's sure. Yeah, keep the clock on my screen.
All right, let's put it right there. I mean, it's meaningless without context, and I'm not going to give you context, but I am going to give you context in the game. So this is NARC. So Nintendo Entertainment System, bargain bin game. It used to be an arcade. You'd find it in Pizza Hut all over the place, but they ported it to NES. They changed the red to yellow because they didn't want blood, because Nintendo can't have blood, obviously. But here's the premise of the game. No one had the guts until now. You are Max Force. Your mission: bust Mr. Big and destroy his dreaded criminal empire. Seize all contraband, stolen money, illegal weapons. Use rocket bombs, high-powered machine guns. Apprehend all suspects. Protect the innocent. Punish the guilty. And stop at nothing. And so, just say no to drugs. You're going to win the war on drugs tonight by pressing start. And we're going to dive into NARC.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
You ready?
All right. Oh, I just press start? Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll hit the timer as soon as you gain control of the controller. String terrorists. That's amazing. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
So your goal in this game, walk right as fast as you can. You can't run. There's no advantage in killing anyone. You just go right as fast as you can. If you hold A, it's bullets. If you tap A, it's rockets. If you hold B, it's squat. If you tap B, it's jump. And at the end, you're going to have to jump rocket, and that's going to be rate limiting. Try to find doors that look something like that, walk through them, and then walk right, and do that over and over again for about 9 levels. So this is the extent of NARC. If anyone has advice in chat, feel free to throw those in there right now, but we're going to ask some more questions along the way. Jungle wants to know, can Bhargav explain PBT using Super Smash Bros. Terminology? So what is PBT, and how do you rationalize that in this framework of Super Smash Bros.?
PBT is my favorite theorem in mathematics. It's the Poincare-Bendixson theorem.
All right. So you're going to hit that thing.
Oh.
And then go back to the door. Then you're good. Level 1 done.
Poincare-Bendixson theorem says, so if you have a two-dimensional dynamical system, so these are called planar systems, and if there's like a region in space, in the two-dimensional space that it's called, if it's a trapping region, meaning once a trajectory gets inside of it, and it cannot leave, okay, so that's a trapping region. And if the inside of that region does not contain an equilibrium point, then what's going to happen is the trajectory is going to settle on what's called a limit cycle. So you're gonna see an oscillation, and this is only true in 2 dimensions. So in 3 dimensions, there's no guarantee that if your trajectory finds a location that it cannot get out of, that you're going to see like a periodic trajectory, because you can see chaos in 3 dimensions. So yeah, it's my favorite theorem, and no doubt this is one of my students I've taught at some point.
Shout out, calling back to class content. All right, so here you're going to have to get a blue card. So the way you're going to do that is these guys in black,
Yeah.
You're going to shoot them with bullets. So not rockets, but bullets.
Okay.
So hold the A button, and you have to do it at like close range somewhere in here. There you go, blue card. Perfect. All right, blue card on this slot right here, and then through the door. That was easy. So that's something in speedrunning we call RNG. Have you ever heard of this? Random number generator.
Mm-hmm.
And so the chances of getting that card is like 1 in 8.
Oh, wow.
So you got it in 2, so lucky. Time was fast.
Very good. So how can I? So that's the gist of the PBT, the Poincare-Bendixson theorem.
So now within the framework of Super Smash Bros.
Oh man.
Get creative. This is like a chat GPT problem right here. Like,
Yeah, like
holy shit.
let's see, how can I don't know, like, let's see.
Oh, so you're gonna jump in that car, press the B button, and stay on the bottom of the screen, and you'll run into bombs, but it'll save you like 10 seconds. Yeah, keep going right. Perfect. Whew, Super Smash Bros. Man, I love that as a challenge.
Yeah, okay, so I did mention that it's possible that like the grabbing moves are kind of broken in some of the games. For some of the oops, I shouldn't have done that. So like, let's just say like there's a character who just keeps grabbing you and throwing you and grabbing you and throwing you, like
Just press B to jump. Those are dumpsters. If it wasn't obvious, those are dumpsters.
I just thought it was a gigantic building that I had to jump over.
Contra. Well, Smash Bros is at least 2D, so we have a chance.
Yeah. So like. Fair, yeah. So like, I don't know. So like, if a person just keeps grabbing you and throwing you and grabbing you and throwing you, you're not gonna like die, right? And assuming the stage is like sufficiently large, so I mean, you can get thrown off a stage, but like, if they just keep grabbing you, throwing you, and they're good enough at it, like, you're not gonna die, but you're also not gonna attack them. You're just being this loop of being grabbed and thrown and grabbed and thrown. So I don't know. That's my best description of the PBT in terms of Smash.
So thinking about this in the computational like weighing world, is this like relative minima versus absolute minima, and hitting like potential energy surfaces?
No. Let's see. Is it relative minima versus maximum? I don't think so. So if you have a minima within like this trapping region, then you actually won't see. And when I say minimum, I'm thinking about potential minima.
That car, you're going to stay on the bottom and then go up to the top, stay there for a while, and you'll run into a wall, but that's fine. Then jump over and keep walking right.
So if you think about like a potential, like the minimum of a potential function, no, it's just like your trapping region can have like a potential maximum, right? Inside of it, that's okay. But if you're in a trapping region and you either have like a flat potential landscape or like a maximum, then you'll just do this, right?
Flat potential.
Yeah.
That is concerning. So get in the car, you'll stay on the bottom of the rest of the level.
Come on. There we go. Okay.
Yep, stay on the bottom. Just keep riding this out, you'll get to the end of the level. Control. Known as a rect loop. I don't know if that's related to. I apologize if I get to your comments out of context, but so it goes. Texan, I've been asking ChatGPT to write birthday card notes for my coworkers. People thought I was so thoughtful and kind until it gave me a verbatim note from another coworker a few months ago. Texan, thank you for the random insight into your life. That's amazing. Oh, I had this recounted from one of my coworkers. Apparently her and her sister, their grandma died fairly recently. And so they go to the funeral and the sister had written this like outstanding eulogy that had been given to the priest. And it turns out it was ChatGPT written. And it's like, here's what I remember about grandpa, write a nice eulogy. And that was announced at the funeral actually. So yeah, everyone cheats just a little bit.
That door just said adult books.
Yeah, exactly. Nintendo, this was edgy. 3 X's. So grab the card, you're going to press up, but not up too much, because you'll like go through the door again. So press up to get through the door, but not too much. Then go left. Silver card, put it in there and get through the door, and that level's done. Man, that's pretty amazing. All right, catching up on some questions here. Headless Kitty wants to know, what's your Myers-Briggs classification?
Oh, God. Okay, this is... Okay.
So Myers-Briggs has been largely debunked, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, it's total bullshit.
Okay.
But it's a fun thing. And also, I can't actually answer this question because it's clearly a linear algebra student who's asking me this.
Why? This is a personal go through the door?
I just got wrapped up in killing.
Okay, go left. You're going to shoot the Rambo-looking guys with bullets. So when they get closer, let them get a little closer. There you go. Green card, through the door. Holy shit, that was a good RNG. That was easy.
But I basically have them guess my Myers-Briggs personality type.
That's amazing.
And so, like, I can't answer that question.
So you've done the actual test? You know what the answer is?
No, I've only done the online versions.
I mean, it's as far as I know, it's been super debunked, right? It was just like pseudoscience for a long time. And no one accepts it anymore.
But it's pretty funny because like online, there's a bunch of people who like a bunch of fictional universes have been. Like the characters have been classified as different personality types, which is So like if you could like look up the Harry Potter universe, Myers-Briggs, and
Yeah.
things
I like Texan Space Agency. His Myers-Briggs is Sagittarius. Might as well be, right? Like, holy crap. All right, speaking of which, there's a bunch of questions we haven't gotten to that I want to before you leave.
Okay.
What's the Earth is flat / anti-vax equivalent of your field? What's the dogmatic, whatever general public perception that's just completely wrong?
So I was thinking about this a lot. This is actually kind of hard for mathematics, because like I don't know, like if something's wrong, it's just wrong. Yeah, right. Like there's
like absolutely wrong.
It's like I can't. But
I mean, but there's a lot of intuition that's wrong.
Yeah,
mathematics can prove otherwise, right? We talked about the birthday paradox earlier.
That's right.
Is there anything else that jumps out to you?
In terms of, yeah. So let me take a different angle. There are some, let's say, interesting mathematicians who aren't wrong, but
they're just assholes.
Not even assholes. They're just like.
So you have this card go to blue.
So they're not necessarily assholes, but they like. So one thing that a lot of mathematicians are like okay with, is this notion of infinity. We were talking about infinity a little bit, and then infinitesimals, right? Like, so calculus, you just take the limit as something goes to 0, and then you can think about a derivative. But there's a group of mathematicians who like refuse to say like infinitesimal. They just refuse to accept infinitesimals and infinities.
I don't accept it. No. The answer is no.
And so they're like, there's a group of them that are like trying to.
So sorry to interrupt. If you want to shoot the dogs, press both buttons down.
Oh.
Squat and shoot.
Oh, so, right. Okay.
Hold both. Yep. There you go.
Okay.
All right. Then keep going right. Then shoot more dogs. Sorry. That's what our night has turned into.
But that's one aspect of like that's like a little interesting. I mean, it's not wrong. I won't say like they're wrong or that what they're doing is meaningless or pointless, but it's just an interesting take that like I don't know. I'm okay with infinities and infinitesimals.
That's amazing.
The other thing that I kind of was amazed by was that like.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. So you got to shoot the guy in the wheelchair with a rocket, which is a sentence I utter every 2 minutes. You're going to tap the A button and shoot him with a rocket.
Holy cow. Okay.
There you go. So you need to do that 3 times. You are smashing this, by the way. You're doing amazing on this. I really appreciate the pace with which you're attacking NARC. Catching up on a few things. Taco Cat, thank you for the follow. It's been 20 minutes. I apologize. I missed it. I should have acknowledged that earlier. But yeah, thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. You'll get notifications about future streams and also make our numbers go up, which we really appreciate. Misadventures is redeemed. Take a drink. So,
oh boy.
Cheers. Bhargav, I know you're at an intense moment, but we'll cheers as soon as you get a break. Tap A of rockets.
Come on, wheelchair guy.
Yeah, he's non-trivial. That's a wheelchair guy with a machine gun. Don't you remember the war on drugs, 1980s?
Right.
I guess you were born in like 90. Right?
I was born in 90. Yeah.
You clearly missed this phase of the 1980s.
Oh, come on.
It's a little gentler on that tap.
Right. This is incredible that like it's this nuanced.
Man, this game is terrible, and I apologize for making you play it. But we converged on a game that everyone was going to play, and it was winning the war on drugs. So it feels good, but at a cost.
Right? Yeah.
Texan, I was trying to explain infinity to my 6-year-old. She asked her teacher, "What's the highest number you know?" A Google plus 1. Go eat your orange slices. So Google is what, 10 to the 100th or something like that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Google plus 1. What's infinity plus 1? God, kids, I tell you.
Oh, I thought I shot the guy, but he crawled away.
Yeah, so you need to do that 3 times. If he worms away, you've done it correctly.
But just to finish up this point about like this flat Earth stuff. I mean, so this is again is like not anything that's wrong, but
Well, there you go.
so there is this.
Done. Gold card.
There we go.
All right, through the door.
So there was this. Okay, if you've taken a calculus course, right, you know that integration is developed as here's a curve, you approximate the area under with like a trapezoid or a rectangle, then you take the widths of the rectangles to be smaller and smaller, and you can get an approximation for the area there.
All right, apologies for interrupting. Go to the top of the screen, and you're going to do a jump rocket.
Oh, right.
So you got to walk away, jump rocket him in the hat. That was close. So walk to the right, get some distance, and you have plenty of room to go to the right to do this.
He won't
sorry
let
to
me?
interrupt, but it's a rate limiting step.
Yeah. Come on, dude. Okay, I can do
Ooh,
this.
Terrence Howard proved 1 + 1 = 2. 1 times
1 times 1 is equal to 2.
Have you covered that in one of your classes?
I don't see like that. If there's a following for that, like I don't even know what to say to
Yeah.
that.
How do you intervene on that? Like, we just don't accept the same basic reality, right? Like,
But it's not even like an acceptance thing. It's like what does 1 times 1 actually mean? It's like if I give you one thing one time, how many things do you have? Like
Terrence Howard says 2.
2. It's like yeah. I mean I don't. Oh, come on. Was that a rocket I just fired?
I think it was a bullet.
It was a
You're
bullet.
pressing the A button a little too hard. It's a little gentler on that one.
And now
So
he's
nothing's firing, so it's just you're at like 8 frames and you need to be at 7 frames. So close. Oh man,
Oh,
Terrence Howard, we had to invoke that sometime tonight, right?
yeah. I mean that's fair.
I'm sure you've heard girls are time and money. Time is money, so girls are money squared. Money is the root of all evil, therefore girls are evil.
This yeah.
Any comment on that one?
This is an old joke. Like this is not at all original.
I'm insulted by your reuse of this nonsense. That's pure mathematics for you, ladies and gentlemen, though. Can't trust him at all. All right, the other question I'm going to ask, well, what is the root of money? Good question, Contra. I don't know how to translate that.
Let me just try to fire a rocket with
Yeah,
that jump.
do that. Just do some rockets. There you go.
That was a rocket.
A little, like, don't press it down as far. You need a really gentle touch. There we go. Oh, there it is. Okay, rocket to the face. Just a normal rocket, no more jumping.
Oh. What happened? Don't die.
Oh man, we're making progress. Texan, I never claimed it was original. Called out. Oh, that's amazing. All right, one more question I have to ask. We have to discuss this before you leave for the night. It's one of my favorites. Is movies or TV shows that get your discipline right and get it wrong. So this could be either education, this could be teaching, this could be mathematics, biomathematics. What do you see that makes you cringe? What do you see that makes you excited? TV show or movie? Go. Talked about Imitation Game.
Yes.
Fun one.
Oh, that was a fun one. So
A little
what?
gentler. A little gentler.
This is so
touchy.
frustrating.
There you go. A couple more of those. You got them.
Come on. Okay. So the first show that came to mind it was a show called Numbers.
Yes.
Do you
it's
remember-
like crime solving with math.
Yes. I'm just like, this is not a thing.
Oh man, that is like the hacker's equivalent of mathematics, right?
It's like what? How? Like,
Holy shit.
like when I
forgot about that.
I loved that show. Like it was like I was in high school and I was like, oh man, this is awesome. And they would say all this fancy stuff. Oh, here's a Fokker-Planck equation that we're using to model the.
Therefore, it was the butler. Right?
Yeah, right. And
that's what it did.
And you're just like,
So try, don't press it down all the way. Just press it down enough that there you go. Okay, so now what you're going to do is run away. And now you're going to go from rockets, actually run that way.
okay.
And stay between these two black lines. And you're going to run that way. Get away from him. That's the only way he can hurt you at this point. So you're going to die, but you'll get iframes. Go, get away. Stay up between these two lines. Keep running. You're going to turn around and shoot bullets. So hold A, but move up and down while doing it. And you're going to get those vertebrae. Run away.
Oh, I see.
And then do that over and over again. And eventually all those vertebrae will go away. So you want to shoot him when he's down. So run away when he's up, and then when he comes down, you're gonna shoot him. So now he'll come down, then move up and down a little bit, because the hitboxes on this are terrible. I apologize. All right, sorry. Movies that get it right and wrong.
Yeah, so numbers, I think, definitely gets it wrong. I can't be for sure to say like which one gets it right, but I mean, imitation game, like the way to think about problems maybe is okay. I feel like defenses in general are just like, I don't know, not portrayed like properly, or let's see. So there was also this game, not game. This. So how do you mean down? Like right there?
So yeah, you'll want to move like a little bit up and down while you're shooting it.
Oh, right. Okay.
The hitbox detection is super weird.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
So what about like a beautiful mind, right? Economist / mathematician.
Yeah, Beautiful Mind is. Okay, I have to remember Beautiful Mind now. The scenes that are in there.
Oh, there you go.
I think Beautiful Mind was like okay, and I think all of us mathematicians at some point felt like we were going crazy, like seeing things.
Right, you got him. One of the scenes I really liked from that is him chasing pigeons around and trying to model that function. Like that's biomathematics. I mean,
right? Yeah,
like
that's definitely that's definitely true. Like I'll just be like walking around outside and be like, huh, maybe I can.
I wonder if
I wonder if I can model the way like the leaves, the shapes of the leaves on it, on the different trees, and like I don't know, that part's definitely true. I'm trying to figure out an algorithm for or something. So that part is certain, at least for me. I don't know. I don't know if others can.
All right. 20 minutes and 59 seconds.
Oh, is that it? That's okay.
You won the war on drugs. It is exactly 11 o'clock.
Oh wow!
So congratulations! Holy shit. Cuddle Puppy, John Nash's math as portrayed in the Beautiful Mind seemed to amount to nothing more than the tragedy of the commons existence. Oof, that's a cynical look for sure. You should put your initials in, because you won the war on drugs. If you guys think of anyone we should raid with our streamers, preferably someone that's science related, but not necessarily, put those in there right now, because we're going to close out, because you officially won the war on drugs. Congratulations. There you go.
Oh wow!
You beat NARC. It's everything you hoped it would be.
It was way more like I can't believe that it can detect like the difference in the
Yeah, this was one of those games like you couldn't beat unless you knew those tricks, right?
Yeah,
and you couldn't watch a YouTube video. You just figure this shit out back in the day. So yeah, no, it's a terrible game, and I apologize for making you play it. But
no, it was fun. It was my first time playing.
So it goes. The nature of the beast. All right, yeah, if you guys have any comments, someone we should raid, yeah, it has been a hell of a journey tonight. We have gone all over the place talking about mathematics, talking about biosystems, biomathematical modeling, mathematics, talking about Isaac Newton and academic lineages. Man, we went all over the place, played some Super Smash, played a little bit of Mario Brothers, plus Tetris, plus tennis, plus we won the war on drugs, which congratulations.
It's always a great way to end the night.
Who needed to spend $1 trillion fighting a war on drugs when you could just play a Nintendo game? Who knew?
Right.
But anyway, yeah. Bhargav, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for agreeing to be on Ask a Scientist Gaming. It's been a lot of fun journeying through all these questions and all this discussion, and video games as well. A little nostalgia kick plus some modern gameplay. We really appreciate it. Any parting words for the audience?
I mean, it's been great. The interactions with the chat have been interesting. And thanks, Ken, for having me. This was a lot of fun. And the time really flew by. Whenever I was like 3 hours, that's a long time, but it didn't feel like it at all. It was
back when we were kids, we'd play like 12 hours, not even bat an eye. But with that said, your hands are probably going to hurt tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid non-ergonomic controllers, absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
So it goes. But yeah, thank you for joining us. It really has been a great time. It's been fun talking biomathematics as well as about video games and whatnot. So I really appreciate it. It's been great having you on. Anyone interested? We only stream like every 2 weeks, every Wednesday night, almost every Wednesday night, depending on if I'm traveling or not. But March 19th, our next guest will be Chantel Buggs. She's a sociologist. She studies a whole lot of different things: family and romantic intimate relationships, academic workplace inequality, race and racism. She also does some work on she told me about a project she's working on that's related to like fan fiction, like erotic fan fiction as related to certain subject matter. So it's going to be a crazy journey into sociology. So we're going to change directions a little bit in 2 weeks, which you guys should join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. No, there will not be any Ayn Rand. Well, maybe there will be. We'll see. Ask your questions. It'll be fun to discuss down that journey. But yeah, it's been great. So if you had to have any parting words, one piece of knowledge you'd like to drop on the audience in your discipline, what would it be?
In terms of attacking a math problem, just be resilient. Sometimes the solution won't reveal itself until you look at it at all the different possible angles. And I don't know, learning math is never just reading a book. You gotta roll up your sleeves and do some problems. That's the only way to do it. So that's my words of wisdom. So yeah, there we go.
Grind your teeth. Same with any research, right? We fail 99% of the time. It's that 1% that makes it worthwhile. Why we do what we do.
We are resilient people, professors, because we
have to be.
We have to be.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you. Say no to quitting. Absolutely contra. It's way better than say no to drugs. Do drugs, but don't quit science. So enjoy your journeys. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in a couple weeks. But until then, it's been a pleasure. We'll figure out someone to raid. Stick around. We'll find somebody education related. But again, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.